Happy Thursday, and welcome into the pregame show here from the Erie Insurance Arena. It's a rarity because it's a Thursday, and that means that it is a happy hour Thursday with $2 drafts of Labatt Blue Light from doors until the start of the game. We're here at the Bud Light Lounge, but it's all about Labatt Blue Light here tonight, and we're going to have some fun. 5:30 to 7. You will be able to get your very own draft, not from a can, out of the draft of Labatt Blue Light. It's going to be a fun one here tonight. What a perfect way to be able to start off Friday Eve, start off a long weekend, and look forward to a whole lot of fun that's due up ahead here. We're already having some fun. It's been a very fun week around the Erie Insurance Arena, and it all started off as a familiar faces back in town. Matthew Schaefer taking over the Erie News Now mic to interview his teammate in Carey Terrance.
What are your thoughts on the last game against Windsor? How do you think you played?
Windsor? No, I think the team played really well. Obviously, going to the third period down, I think 3-1, and there's no doubt in the room. Within the team, I think we, it was really positive throughout the whole game, and we came out on top.
I like that. How's your girlfriend doing?
Okay.
Okay. I'm pretty good. You got any questions for them?
I think you covered it all. That's all we're after.
They see a team that's having fun is probably a team that's doing pretty well. And for the Erie Otters, they're having points in their last two games. Weren't able to practice on Monday here at the arena due to some other events that were occurring at the arena. But head coach Stan Butler and the coaching staff still made sure the team was active. Hear more about a very interesting non-practice Monday.
We actually have some decent athletes. I mean, we were playing basketball, and I thought it'd just be a bunch of Canadian hacks playing basketball, but there was actually some guys that were actually pretty good. Greasy Dylan Edwards there, he could shoot threes pretty good, and Davio wasn't bad. I mean, it was pretty good. And then dodgeball, it's just you got to have hands, right? So you guys can probably figure out who did well in the dodgeball and who didn't.
Hammond was pretty good at basketball. I will say I didn't know what to expect. Not that I was expecting bad, but I didn't know what to expect. We don't really talk much basketball, but he's pretty good. He's got some skills, so I guess it's all coming together on and off the ice for him.
Hockey skills, certainly there. Basketball skills, varies by the guy. We've got a whole lot more to talk about here on the NWPA AHEC pregame show. It's a fun night. It's a Thursday night, and it is a happy hour to you and yours. We'll be right back. When it comes to health education in the Erie region, Northwest Pennsylvania AHEC is the name to know. But what is AHEC? Do they provide education to high school students on health careers?
AHEC does that.
Continued medical education for professionals?
AHEC does that.
Training for community health workers?
AHEC does that.
And even more?
AHEC, yeah, they do that.
Learn more today at nwpaahec.org. Northwest Pennsylvania Area Health Education Center. Advancing Pennsylvania's health through education. Welcome back to the NWPA AHEC pregame show on a Thursday night, the only Thursday home game of the 2024-2025 regular season. And it's not just a hockey night downtown. It is a happy hour Thursday with $2 Labatt Blue Light drafts from 5:30 until 7 o'clock here tonight. Get you one of these and make sure you start off your night of hockey on the right foot and in the right way. It's going to be a whole lot of fun here tonight and should be some fun as we continue to monitor the growth and development of Wesley Royston. 3 goals in 2 games last weekend. We'll see if he can keep it going here tonight.
The combination of size and skill is a lethal one. The Otters have a few players who fit this description, but it's been second-year forward Wesley Royston who has been impressing early on in the year.
Malcolm Spence in front. Chaos. Where's the puck? Finds its way in. They score! 10:16 to go. Tenacity for the Otters gets this one tied up. 3-3 game. It
Wesley Royston. Royston was a second-round pick of the Otters prior to last season. He fit in well last year in his first year, getting his feet wet at the major junior level. In 45 games a season ago, Royston scored 4 times in a season full of adjustments at the OHL level. Through just a handful of games, the sophomore forward has already nearly equaled his goal total from last year, thanks to a big weekend against North Bay and Windsor. How about Wesley Royston? He's going to have 2 goals in 2 games.
2 goals in 2 games. First one on the power play. Second one tying goal, even strength. If this holds, you're going to call that a pretty dang good weekend for Mr. Royston, as he might be competing for a 3-star spot on our Monday article.
Feels good. I mean, Kerry gave me that pass there. Malcolm drove hard to the net. Just had to bang it in. So
Royston scored 3 goals in the 2 games played, showing off exactly what the young forward can contribute.
I had full confidence in both of them that they'd come back this year and be good players. I think that first year for guys in the league is a development year, and we just were patient with them and we worked them along. But, obviously, our strategy with our team this year is to have 3 balanced offensive lines, and for that to happen, we only have 4 right shot forwards on our team, so we need Wes and Brett to be good right wingers. And I think last game was an example. I mean, both of them scored in the game, so those things are pretty important for us to have success.
A player who offers size and skill, Wesley Royston will look to continue adding to a growing goal total and keep contributing to this Otters team looking to keep climbing the standings.
Royston and the Otters will have a tough test here tonight in 2 skilled goaltenders in Mason Vicari and in Nolan Lalonde. We'll see how the offense can do, and we'll talk more about the night due up ahead when we come back in the Northwest Pennsylvania Area Health Education Center pregame the pregame show. When it comes to health education in the Erie region, Northwest Pennsylvania AHEC is the name to know. But what is AHEC? Do they provide education to high school students on health careers?
AHEC does that.
Continued medical education for professionals?
AHEC does that.
Training for community health workers?
AHEC does that.
And even more?
Heck yeah, they do that.
Learn more today at nwpaahec.org. Northwest Pennsylvania Area Health Education Center, advancing Pennsylvania's health through education. One last time, welcome back into the NWPA AHEC pregame the pregame show. It is a thirsty Thursday in many senses. It's Happy Hour Thursday. Thanks to our good friends at Labatt for $2 Labatt Blue Light drafts here at the Bud Light Lounge or wherever you get your beers here at the Erie Insurance Arena. Do not miss out. This deal is only good until the start of the game, only good until puck drop, and you certainly don't want to miss that. Or miss what could potentially, if he's in the lineup, be Dylan Edwards' 100th career Ontario Hockey League game. What a career that he's had that has been spanned by storylines and, of course, offensive success from the end of last season and already the start of this season. If he's in the lineup tonight, congratulations, Eddie. Congratulations on 100 games. While we're talking about players to watch, we spotlighted him during our second segment here tonight. It's all about Wesley Royston. 3 goals in 2 games last weekend, and fully expecting that offensive success to continue this weekend, and hopefully tonight as our Roscoe Sports Bar and Grill player to watch. If you are a college student looking for something fun to do downtown on a Thursday night, we are once again extending our buy one, get one college ticket offer for tonight. You can't beat it. We got happy hour and we got BOGO tickets. Come on out. It's going to be a night of fun and certainly worth all the bang for your buck. If you're coming out to the night's game as well, make sure you join us in the merch store for our merch item of the game presented by Rebich Investments. Tonight it is a beautiful logoed tumbler starting at the affordable price you see on your screen. You can't beat it. And of course, what better way to be able to go about your work week and drink your waters or your fun-flavored liquids than by being able to rep the Otters while you do it. If you're really feeling adventurous, you might be able to pour your $2 Labatt Blue Light drafts into that here tonight. I can't tell you to do that, but you certainly could do that if you want to. If you can't join us for our happy hour, make sure you have a happy hour of your own at home and tune into the broadcast here tonight. We're going to have a whole lot of fun on the Otters Broadcast Network. We've got some great features, great content, and of course, the only meeting of the season here at the Erie Insurance Arena between the Erie Otters and the Kingston Frontenacs. Thank you for joining us here tonight on the Northwest Pennsylvania Area Health Education Center pregame the pregame show. The game will get started soon, and the happy hour will be following right before it. Have a great rest of your night. We'll talk to you on the broadcast or here in the arena.
Thursday night hockey action. Noah Erlenden's ready. You should be too. It's a great night for hockey action here in downtown Erie, Pennsylvania. The only Thursday home game of the year, and you know it's going to be a happy one regardless of the results on the ice. Otters fans in full effect, and they're ready for some fun. We have got a great matchup here tonight. Erie Otters, Kingston Frontenacs, coming to you live at the Erie Insurance Arena. Welcome on in. Sean Bednar, Trevor Kubea, and a whole night of fun due up ahead here from the Erie Insurance Arena. It's a good one. It's always a good one, even though it doesn't happen very often. Kingston Frontenacs, Erie Otters. Noel Milan taking on his own old team in the Erie Otters. Gabe Frasca taking on his old team. These kind of games always have a little bit more intrigue.
Always a lot of storylines, and you mentioned we don't play these guys enough. I wouldn't mind a couple extra trips up to Kingston, but should be a lot of fun here tonight. Erie Otters, Kingston Frontenacs, and like you mentioned, Sean, of course, so many storylines with former players getting to go up against their former team, and it always brings just that little bit extra juice with it. So both number 79 in the black jerseys tonight, number 86 in white, they both have a lot to play for tonight.
If you can't get up for a game like this as either of those guys, well, I don't know if you're ready to roll. This is going to be such a good one. An Erie Otters team that has picked up points in their last 2 games, took 3 of a possible 4 on home ice last season. It's always a tough place to play here at the EIA. The Kingston Frontenacs get that long trip out of the way early on this season, but they're a team that's got some formidability behind themselves.
They really do. You look at a guy like Jacob Battaglia, who's going to play in the top 6 for the Fronts. He leads the way in scoring for Kingston. He's been terrific all year long. And you look at the goaltending, Nolan Lalonde has been just fantastic. And of course, we'll hear a little bit more about them in a little bit with our Across the Ice segment. But it's a pretty good hockey team, not too dissimilar to the Otters in terms of the roster construction and in terms of the starts of the season.
Kingston Frontenacs, Erie Otters on a Thursday night downtown Erie. When we come back, we'll have the highlights from a game against Windsor and reaction after the game. was the Windsor Spitfires in town on a Saturday night in Erie, Pennsylvania, and right off the drop in period 2, Gabriel Frasca decided he wanted to play hero.
Great job gloving the puck down there in the neutral zone, walks in and finds the back of the net. This young man just so much fun to watch. Big finish, big goal for Erie.
Erie finding themselves down 3-1 would drive the net front. Look what I found in front, and the Otters have got themselves a 1-goal game in period 3.
Great pass, Panofemis. Always good to pick out the correct option. Finds Dylan Edwards in front, 3-2 game.
Erie driving, trying to get this one knotted up. How about the trailer man, Malcolm Spence, Wesley Royston, chaos, and that was goal number 2 in 2 games for 7-7.
Love the drive to the net from Malcolm Spence, and Wesley Royston always in the right place. He is there and ties the game.
Erie looking for their first lead. They're going to get it. Brett Hammond. How about Ottawa represent? Give the Otters their first lead of the night.
Again, right there on the doorstep is Brett Hammond, ready to finish it off. Give Erie the lead.
Erie looking to build upon it. Empty net down the ice. It's automatic as Erie would extend it to a 2-goal lead, but they wouldn't be done yet.
Love to see Nathan Sauter getting on the scoreboard. Huge goal for Sods and a nice lead for Erie.
Another empty net opportunity as Erie is able to put this one away, and we had post-game reaction.
Oh, it feels great no matter, who you beat to, get 3 or 4 points on a weekend. I think it's a positive step to see the way we came out in the third period and showed some resiliency. And, it's really good. It's a feel-good win.
It's great. Head into Thursday with momentum for sure. Finally get a win at home. I don't think anything could have gone better for us.
It's a confident group. It believes in one another. And we saw, no sooner last night when we didn't get off to, we got off to a good start, but we didn't end up with a good finish. So tonight we were able to turn the tables and kind of go the other way with it. I'm really proud of our guys tonight.
I think we just played a simple game tonight, not a lot of fancy plays, and it just ended up working out.
Just keep doing our thing, really. North Bay last game, obviously we wanted to win that, 4 seconds left. That sucks, but just keep playing our game, and I think we'll be fine.
Now that we've got a win at home, everybody's kind of got a new sense of energy, a new sense of confidence, and we're just going to keep it moving forward. That's all it is.
Windsor coming in our barn, giving us a tough go the first couple periods, and us just staying together and scoring 5 unanswered goals in the third. It just shows we can beat anyone. And again, like you said, we haven't even had our full team yet. Missing a pretty important piece on the back end. So just the fact we can beat anyone and just play with that confidence.
Reaction pretty positive when you come away with a win against the then and still top team in the Ontario Hockey League in Windsor. But like Sam Alfano, you'll hear from him a little bit later on, he still doesn't feel like they're a team that's maybe operating exactly where they want to be, which is a scary thing in a team that puts up 5 goals in the third period against the then top team in the OHL.
Yeah, certainly so, but I think like Ken Peroff said there, it is a feel-good victory for the Erie Otters, and it really was. It was just a really strong end of the hockey game, and anytime you take down a team as good as the Windsor Spitfires, always feels good. So big win and a really good team effort late in the hockey game.
It's almost a cliche at this point, but it's not easy to win in the Ontario Hockey League, and especially when you got a tough team like Windsor coming to town. You take a win where you get it. You take a big win where you get it. You take a Saturday night Western Conference win where you get it. It's a cross-conference game here between the Otters and the Frontenacs coming up at 7 o'clock. And when we come back here, we'll hear about the Otters on their thoughts going into the weekend, as well as from a legend in our Across the Ice segment, none other than Jim Gilchrist. We'll be back.
OHL Live on CHL TV.
What a goal by Michael Mesa!
Every goal.
What a rip!
Every save.
What a save by Osner!
On every device.
Doesn't get better than that!
Here's the rookie. Schaefer shoots and scores!
In every market.
Back in Seneca scores!
All season long.
Green Tree went through! Green Tree scores!
Subscribe now at watch.chl.ca. OHL Live, the home of every OHL game.
To be honest, I think that we're just kind of scratching the surface of what we can do. I didn't think we had a great weekend. I thought we were good. I thought, we're always going to be, going against other teams' top line, so it's always difficult. We'll always have the tough matchups, but to be honest, I think we still have a whole other level we can get to. I think we're just kind of getting used to each other again.
We're finding a way to keep our head above water. I mean, I would like us to give a few less shots a game against. I mean, last year near the end of the year when we were playing really well, we didn't give up a lot of shots. And I think the other thing is we got some guys on our team that are good goal scorers. So far, haven't scored, but I think will.
For Ambrosio, just coming to the league, trying to get some games under his belt, I feel like the more games you play, the more used to the league you get. But I feel like we have a good squad, and I'm excited to get working with them.
Welcome back to the Otters Hockey pregame show, and welcome into Across the Ice, where we get kind of the idea and pulse of what's going on with our opponents, which here tonight are the Kingston Frontenacs, and so glad to be joined by an OHL legend, the voice of the Kingston Frontenacs, Mr. Jim Gilchrist. Jim, thank you so much for taking some time to join us here tonight.
Hey, no problem at all. It's a pleasure. Good. Looking forward to seeing you and Trevor and Sean here this weekend.
Should be a lot of fun. Well, Jim, obviously kind of an up and down start, but playing well on home ice for you guys. What have you seen so far through the first couple of games?
Well, it's been a good mix of veterans coming back and some good-looking rookies who have won their spot on a roster here so far. They won that during training camp and exhibition play, so you can't keep them out of the lineup. So they haven't looked out of the lineup whatsoever. So they're fitting right in with a good veteran core. Returning goaltender in the OHL anyway, returning to his hometown here, and a recognizable name there in Erie, I'm sure, and Nolan Lalonde, an overage goaltender for us, and now picked up from the defending Memorial Cup champion Saginaw Spirit. So always nice to get that overage goaltender there and give Mason Bakari kind of a bit of a break. We played him to death there last year, and he was really tired by the time we got into the playoffs against North Bay. So great to give him a break. And he and Lalonde have really split duties here so far. So hard to see who's going to be playing in nets on that game for us on Thursday night there in Erie. But I'm sure maybe Troy Mann will make sure Nolan makes his return there to Erie.
Yeah, a really formidable goaltending tandem, right? Bakari and Lalonde have been very solid, including that wild save that Nolan made a couple nights ago. And of course, we're looking forward to potentially seeing him back in between the pipes in Erie.
Yeah, I had a tough loss in our last home game against Ottawa there last weekend, 5-4 in overtime, but I had a couple of more home games to wrap up the long homestand against Sudbury and also Brantford this past weekend. So hope to wrap that up successfully before we hit the road. This is going to be the real test for the team. I think 3 games in 5 days, but a good time for them to be bonding anyway, as they say on the road like that. And we'll see how they do on the road. That's always a big test here in the OHL.
Yeah, always a big test, especially early on in the season as well, and getting some of the further trips out of the way for you guys early on. Who have been some of the players? You mentioned some of the young guys that have stood out early on. Who has stood out for the Fronts early on in the year?
Yeah, we've got a rookie named Ben Pickle. He was a third-round draft pick of Barrie back in 2021. He's got a couple of goals, including a short-handed goal on a breakaway in our opening game up in Peterborough in late September. Also up front, Adam Kelly, a sixth-round draft pick this year. And our first import draft out of Finland. He was our first import draft actually in 23, a Pittsburgh draft pick in the third round that same year. Emil Pianemi, you'll see him, a big kid back on the blue line. He's fit right in back there, and he, along with our other import draft, actually Ottawa's import in 23, and a Vegas draft pick, Thomas Euronen, was the real reason why we had to, unfortunately, trade away Jacob Chromiak. That deal just done earlier this week as well. So, unfortunately, we had to deal him off to Kitchener because we had our 2 import drafts right there. But Euronen has fit right in, former Ottawa 67 and a Vegas draft. And also, as I say, Pianemi has just been outstanding since coming back from Pittsburgh's camp. So there's no way they were going to replace him.
Yeah, always good to see those young guns stepping up, and certainly sounds like that's been the case there. Last thing for you before we wrap things up, what else should we know about this Kingston team? Of course, a foe that we only see twice. I wish we saw each other more, certainly. As I mentioned, you always love coming to Kingston, but what are some other things to know about this hockey team, and what can we expect here on Thursday?
Well, a big kid up front, just talked to him recently, Jacob Battaglia, second-round draft pick of the Calgary Flames this past summer. Our second-rounder back in 22. he has had an outstanding year there last season, over 30 goals, and he's off to a great start here this year, in amongst the top scorers and point getters in the entire OHL. So watch for him, big number 88 up front there. He is fit right in on that number 1 unit, although Troy Mann kind of switches back and forth his top 2 lines there to kind of confuse the opposition a bit. So, but 88 certainly has been our big leader, and same on the power play. He's been the leader up front there, along with Matt Soto, a returning player, 4 goals on the year already. So between those two, those are 2 returning veterans that have really got to do something for the team, and Bat certainly has done that so far.
Well, Jim, it is always a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you here in Erie, and then, of course, back at Slush Puppy Place coming up in January. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking some time.
Thank you. We will see you soon.
All right, we'll step aside. More to come on the Otters Hockey pregame show right after this.
All right, we got some good ones going on around the Ontario Hockey League tonight. A lot of cross-conference games, at least at the top. Owen Sound at Barrie will be there next Thursday. Kingston, of course, here at the Erie Otters. Ottawa visiting Niagara, so a little bit of a long single conference trip there as Ottawa goes to Niagara Falls, or St. Catharines rather. Sarnia visiting North Bay. That's no short trip for the Sting. And Oshawa at Peterborough. Any of these really sticking out to you in particular?
I think the big one is Ottawa and Niagara. Should be a pretty solid hockey game given what both teams have done to start the season. So looking forward to seeing what that matchup produces.
We have a good one due up here tonight. And as we look around the league standings, you have a number 7 Kingston team in the Eastern Conference taking on a number 8 Erie Otter team. I tell everybody at this point of the season, these standings don't mean anything right now. It's too early. The sample size is too small. But hey, the standings are what they are. And right now you got 2 pretty evenly matched teams getting ready to do battle.
Yeah, certainly the case. I think the rosters even out, and even looking at the standings again for what it's worth, certainly could see this one playing out to be a pretty good one.
We'll step aside momentarily. When we come back, your favorite part of the show, Kubea's Keys.
Good things are brewing in Erie at Lavery Brewing Company. Lavery is an independent craft brewery creating innovative ales, traditional lagers, and beer that gives back. Their quickly expanding urban brew pub also offers modern American cuisine in a cozy atmosphere. Located just blocks from the Erie Insurance Arena at 128 West 12th Street. Grab a pregame pint and support local. Lavery Brewing, brewing innovative ales in small batches. For more information, head to laverybrewing.com.
We've got a great one due up for you here tonight, and it all starts off with the best part of the show, Kubea's Keys. Trevor, what do we got going on for Kingston?
Well, for Kingston, Fort Frontenac, of course, what the team is named after, and that goes back to the goaltending. Nolan Lalonde has been fantastic. He'll be in net tonight for Kingston, so look out for him to be a big part of the game. And battling Battaglia, boy, Jacob Battaglia has been terrific for Kingston so far this season. Their leading scorer, Erie going to have to shut him down to get things done tonight. For the Otters, young guns, well, they got some younger players to step up in the win on Saturday, looking for guys like Royston and Hammond to carry over in 60 minutes. Erie has not played a complete game so far this season. Love to see them put together a full and complete 60-minute effort, and hopefully that will lead to a win.
The Titusville High School Concert Choir will be bringing you the national anthem tonight's game. Let's bring it down to them in just a few.
Please rise if able and remove your caps as the Titusville High School Concert Choir performs O Canada and the Star-Spangled Banner.
With glowing hearts we see
the Kingston Frontenacs. It's the Erie Otters, and it is a great night for hockey in Erie, Pennsylvania. Goaltending matchup for you here tonight. A familiar face in Nolan Lalonde going up against the newcomer in the OHL, Noah Erliden.
Fantastic goaltending battle. You see the start for Nolan Lalonde, and you've got two guys with two of the top save percentages in the Ontario Hockey League early on this season. So expecting kind of a low-scoring game with these two between the pipes. Terrific goaltending matchup.
We've got a great one due up here for you tonight as you see Nolan Lalonde get ready. It's something of a homecoming for him, though he's been back here before as the opposition, and we have got a great one cooking up. Erie Otters, Kingston Frontenacs, thank you for joining us. Whether you're here on the Otters Broadcast Network, Otters Radio Network, CHL TV, or your TV Kingston, we are happy to have you, and we have got a great one due up. It's going to be a good one. The Kingston Frontenacs in their road blacks, the Otters in their all-new home whites. Man, there just feels like there's something in the air that this is going to be a nice battle.
Yeah, it should be a good hockey game. Usually is when these two teams meet up. Something to keep in mind in both matchups last season, it was the road team who came out victorious.
We are underway for the Erie Insurance Arena as they battle for this one back at center, and it finds its way inside of the defensive end. Noah Erliden making his sixth start in the Ontario Hockey League. He's been a great goaltender so far as this one's back for an icing with 19:47 to go in period one.
Yeah, Noah Erliden has been nothing short of spectacular for Erie, so somebody to keep an eye on tonight for the Otters as he looks to just keep good going. He's been red hot and making this his third start in a row here tonight.
Kirsten Welsh, linesperson tonight as this face-off is back inside of the circles, and the Otters will win it back below the goal line. This one finds its way back up the mid-glass. Out of the zone it'll go, and taken back inside of the defensive end by Pinemi. Back below the goal line it'll go. Erliden comes out of his net. We'll talk a lot about that tonight. He is not afraid to leave the blue paint when needed.
Yeah, Noah Erliden not afraid, and his puck touch is something to keep an eye on. He's very strong with a puck and a stick.
Hammond battling for this one. Finds its way toward the blue line for Hopkins. Up against the near wall it'll go, and back onto Jacob Battaglia's stick. One of your players to watch if you are a follower of the Cubeas Keys, and they're usually not wrong. Brought in Spence shot, Lalonde save, and throws this one inside of the corner. Nearly a minute of play gone by, and the first puck touch for Nolan Lalonde in the black and gold against the Otters. Brought in left wing side, Battaglia wanted to drop it back. Instead, it was taken away by Erie. In through neutral ice it'll go. Malik McGowan works it over right wing side. McGowan getting a photo with a few Otters in pregame during warm-ups. As there's no disfamiliarity between OHLers. They all seem to know each other. Worked in right wing side, Pano Femus in from the right, centers it, Alfano, it takes a bad hop off his stick. Top of the left circle it'll go, back down, left wing side, Edwards sends it inside of the corner, set up play, back to the blue line, shot through traffic, they score! 18:27 to go in period number one, and how about it, Lucas Ambrosio, first career Ontario Hockey League goal.
Well, let it fly, young man. Ambrosio from the point. That's one Nolan Lalonde is surely going to want back just 93 seconds into the hockey game, but love Ambrosio's confidence. Why not throw it to the net when you've got Alfano providing the screen? It didn't take a deflection. It went clean through, and Lucas Ambrosio, welcome to the goal column.
Lucas Ambrosio, that's the shot we saw him shoot quite a few times last weekend. As we discussed, what kind of player is Ambrosio going to turn into? He's got so many of the makings of a great defenseman. I didn't expect to see a shot like that here. First official shot of the game finds its way through, and the Otters draw first blood.
Yeah, Ambrosio has been mighty impressive for the Erie Otters. I love the little bump play back to the point from Dylan Edwards, just that little fake out, and it allowed the chance from Ambrosio. Again, just put it to the net. That's one Lalonde to want back, but it's 1-0 Erie.
And an early lead at home is usually a good lead at home, especially when you got Noah Erliden. When Erie has given him quote-unquote run support, he's usually answered the bell for him. Juggle puck here from Carey Terrance. He'll just throw this one up into the air. Wesley Royston, our player to watch for the game, centers it, and it hits a leg in front. Believe that was Ben Pickle as he was able to set it back behind. Top of the right circle, Royston sent down onto the ice. 3 goals in 2 games last weekend as we get a stoppage here. believe it to be offside with 17:52 to go.
Yeah, Ty Henry not able to keep the puck in, so offside the call. Faceoff will come just outside, but boy, this start to the game, yes, it's only 2 shots on goal 2 minutes into the game, but kind of similar with how Erie's been on top of things and playing in their offensive zone to how things began on Friday night against North Bay. Obviously don't want it to finish the same way, but for Erie, got to keep the pressure on through 60 minutes.
And first in his OHL career, scored by number 73, Lucas Ambrosio.
Congratulations, young man. Keep that puck. Up this one will go from the right wing side in. It's Tyler Challenger trying to body off a man. Put it out in front, and that was to Oliver Phillips, who wasn't able to put it away. Moved in left wing side. Butter. Great name, by the way. It's smooth as this one will find its way out of the zone. Phillips feeds it to Challenger, and we got some young guns on this line. Challenger was the first pick by the Otters in the draft that saw Lucas Ambrosio join the team. And Lucas Ambrosio, a second-round pick. First goal. Not too bad. Here's Alex Messier, brings it in. They'll say onside as it's moved back down to Ambrosio once again. Ambrosio centers this one, taken by Spence, and back into the corner it'll go. Ambrosio just last week was named to the Canada U17 Red Team. Well, you can see for good reason why. Defensively, he's done it all, and offensively, he's starting to find that touch too.
Look at what a goal does for the young man as well. I mean, he's playing with a confidence, a bit of a swagger right there, not afraid to jump into the rush, something we really haven't seen from his game over the first bit of this season. So love to see that from Ambrosio, not afraid to jump into the rush and try and contribute offensively.
And he'll certainly take it. Ken Paroff has never been a guy to shy away from allowing his defensemen to shoot the puck, and I think that's one of the reasons you saw so many defensive goals as we did last season, and looks like that trend's going to pick right up. It's going to pick even more up once Matthew Schaefer's back in the fold. We'll have more on that at intermission. Up and out from the right wing side, Quentin Burns. Out to the left side, Battaglia moved in. Henry, nice pick play to get that one back. Ambrosio with it. And out of the zone, this one will go back for McGowan. Shots are officially 1-1 in this game as they took a shot off the board for the Erie Otters, and back below the goal line, it'll find its way for Henry. Henry battling it inside of the trapezoid. Up against the near wall, Hammond. Forward with it, finds its way up. Spence leading this one in with Henry. Henry down, Spence. Nice little shot after the pass shot. And this one finds its way to the near wall. Brett Hammond, who we mentioned off the jump of this rush, had his first game-winning goal this season as Battaglia moves it in. Oh, open look in front. Soto can't put it away, and Erliden and the defense are able to clean up the mess. Oh, that's as wide open of a look as you're going to get if you're Matthew Soto.
Well, that's a rare mistake from Noah Erliden committing to that pass there, unable to get any contact on it, and Soto, wide open net, just couldn't quite get his bearings about and couldn't quite finish it off.
Erie will play this one back in through neutral ice. 15:30 left to go in the first. Shots are officially 2-2 in this game. Otters fans getting going here as Sauter takes it back below the goal line. Sauter, who had an empty netter on Saturday, part of that defensive scoring, as Erliden sticks this one away. Centered opportunity, and Edwards able to get it back. Move down the ice. Walking in left wing side, it's Femus in after it. Into the corner it'll go, Edwards. Up the wall from the near side, Miedema. Entering in, top of the left circle, Miedema dragging that toe and sends it high and wide. Terrance off the bench, wanted to take it. Nice collision down there. Otters will come up with the puck. Back below the goal line. Gritty play by Ethan Miedema. We were mentioning it earlier in the office this week as this one goes down the length of the ice. No icing call. That a lot of former Western Conference players suiting up on this Frontenac team.
Yeah, certainly the case. Of course, you look at Miedema and McNamara, of course, former Saginaw Spirit. Cal Ewan's another one. So a couple of guys that have been around the league. Cedric Guindon, of course, the former Owen Sound Attack as well.
And we'll just say it just for clarity purposes. Nolan Lalonde, of course. Back inside of the wide corner it'll go. 14:20 left to go here in the first period. It's 1-0 Otters. Lucas Ambrosio able to come up with his first career goal to give the Otters a lead as this one finds its way down for an icing with 14:11 remaining.
So faceoff will come back down, and again, like the start from the Otters, Kingston's been a little bit better over the last little bit here. Of course, now they've got the 3 shots on goal, so they've got the total starting to climb a little bit. So better response from Troy Mann's club, and we'll see how Erie responds after creating a couple good looks. Lalonde, a couple big saves early too. Well, I guess just the one, but it was a solid one.
Face off left circle. This one taken back as Malik McGowan will take it at the blue line. McGowan shot in. Nice save by Erlin off the Euronin shot. And out of the zone it'll go. That's the 4th shot for the Kingston Frontenacs. So they are starting to get that offense going, get some opportunities on Erlin. Try and shake him up a little bit, as you mentioned. A rare mistake that nearly led to a Soto goal. And instead the Erie Otters were able to adapt.
I think the big important part of that is it didn't lead to a goal. So that not one that you can really remember, right? It doesn't show up in the box score. So something he'll certainly like to keep an eye on. But at the end of the day, it didn't hurt him.
They say that close only counts in horseshoes, from what I've been told. Back up against the near wall. This one will go below the goal line. Found back right wing side. Luke McNamara in after it. As you mentioned, the former Saginaw Spirit, who the Otters will see in a couple of weeks. This one finding its way back. Henry, top of the right circle, taking away Euronin with it. Challenger, trying to be a challenger as this one finds its way in the corner. Henry collected it, moved it to Challenger. And a nice backhand, maybe got a little bit of an assist by the stick of Tyler Hopkins. Back into the defensive end, moved up for Soto. Soto, you know, he's got blood in the water. He's smelling. He wants that goal after he came so close. Braska out, Holomego. That one paddled away by Hopkins, brought in by Battaglia. Top of the left circle, up against the near wall. He's the only black jersey in the area, as this one will find its way down for Pianemi. Left circle, kicked around. Hopkins showing the sewer ball skills. This one finds its way top of the left circle. Hammond moving it up. Touched up by Malcolm Spence, and back into the defensive end it'll go. Pianemi, excuse me, back into neutral ice with Hopkins. Moved back by Quentin Burns and brought in offside. 12:26 left to go, and we head to the media timeout.
It's game on at the Hyundai Hockey Hall of Fame Legends Classic. Be there as Hefford and Lindros captain the greatest legendary teams ever assembled. Sunday, November 10th at Scotiabank Arena, Toronto.
Welcome back into the Erie Insurance Arena. Smile Cam, and sure, plenty to smile about so far. You got a 1-0 lead on home ice, and so far playing pretty good.
And plenty to smile about for Lucas Ambrosio, who of course strikes with his very first goal in the Ontario Hockey League. So really exciting for number 73. And well, hey, if all works out well, hopefully you get to hear his thoughts after the game on his emotion score in that one.
So far, so good. And for a player who came into Erie, knew he was going to have an opportunity to fill many defensive gaps that the Otters unfortunately lost due to graduations from overagers. A player like Owen Johnson is still a hole in the defense that we're going to be looking to find. And of course, with Matthew Schaefer's absence in the first few weeks of the season, being able to have a young gun step up goes a long way for Ken Peroff's core. Top of the right circle, move down, bottom of the circle. That one will hit the mask of Erliden, and he will keep it going as a pair of Otters go down. In through neutral ice, back below the goal line, it finds its way. And this one blown back below the goal line with a helmet off from an Otter. It's Dylan Edwards missing some paraphernalia.
Yeah, Dylan Edwards had his helmet knocked off. We're going to get a penalty here.
Ontario Hockey League games.
Dylan Edwards' 100th game, by the way, so hats off to him as he takes his bucket off to us.
Yeah, Ethan Miedema, the guilty party, he'll head to the penalty box. And the Otters will head on to the power play here for the first time in this game. So really good opportunity as Kingston has had the game's last 5 shots. Now a chance for Erie to try and climb up their total and maybe find another goal.
And these kind of opportunities you got to take advantage of. Power play was... it was not the reason the Otters lost on Friday night, but 1 for 8 certainly didn't help. It looked much better on Saturday, and for the Erie Otters, it's tough to say, oh man, the power play, it was this or that last weekend, because it's been good all season long. Entering in right wing side, Alfano, bottom of the right circle, hits it off of the leg of Cal Ewens. Inside of the corner, this one will go back to the blue line. Henry moving this one top of the circle for Femus. Edwards catches it on the offhand, and it finds its way out of the zone. Brought in with a head of steam. Femus fires a shot, and a toe save made by Noel Lalonde as it goes back to the blue. Henry, nice pick play down there and sent out of the zone by Matthew Soto. That's a heads up, and sometimes all you need is just a handle of the stick on the PK. 70 seconds left to go on the man advantage for Erie. They try and go a cross ice feed, but it can't connect with Wesley Royston, and down the ice it'll go for a clearing effort. Back below the goal line. Collected here by Alexi Davio. Davio being it up the ice, crossing the blue line. Sends it right back as this one finds its way to Malcolm Spence. Spence ducking and weaving through traffic, finds it below the goal line, worked over right wing side. Here's Martin Misiak with it to the blue line, and this one's going to be a break opportunity for Gage Hayes if he can get to it. Look at the recovery back there. That's nice from Gabe Frasca against his former club.
Excellent hustle from Gabe Frasca, denying Hayes of an opportunity there. Great work from 86.
Hayes waiting. They'll be brought in from the opposite side. Erie with 25 seconds left to go on their man advantage. They haven't gotten much started on it so far. Down below the goal line it'll go. Down the ice it goes. Maybe time for one last rush for the Erie Otters if they can get something going here. Playing right to the net front. Erlinen sells out and makes the save. Still loose in front and back up against the near wall. Erie's power play will come to an end, but lucky it wasn't worse.
Bad turnover in front leads to a good short-handed opportunity as Wesley Royston gets rocked upon entry to the zone. Good chance for Kingston. Good, strong save by Noah Erliden, who's 7 for 7 to start the night.
And on that Wesley Royston hit, he's a tough kid. He will certainly remember that and see if he can't give some bruising back on the other side.
Yeah, you always take a number. You make sure you know who hit you as you head back to the bench.
Entering in from the right wing side, Euronin. This one takes a jump, finds its way to Battaglia for a moment. Worked over, bottom of the right circle, stick in the lane, and that one finds its way out of play with 9 minutes, 26 seconds to go, period one.
Good stick in front, allowing that one to jump out of play. So offensive zone draw. Really not the best power play for the Otters. Not a lot of really ideal scoring chances. So certainly something to keep an eye on and something to want to improve. But now you got a defensive zone chance. In fact, Kingston had 2 shots on that power play, Erie just the 1.
Certainly a strong penalty kill for the Kingston Frontenacs, and at a time when you really needed it, you already have the goal against, and with a power play opportunity from the leading team, a 2-0 lead early on can feel like a lot more. Alfano down for Femus, put it out in front. I don't even know how he got the strength or the wherewithal to be able to throw that toward the net front. Oh, that's a nice stick from Nolan Lalonde. Cuts off the east-west play. Femus. Oh, as he's hit inside of the corner, tries to get up as he's got Quentin Burns bodying over him. Coming in as well as Pianimi. And this one will find its way inside of the mid-slot. Battaglia, Alfano using the big frame, reeling it in, going back behind. Onto the right circle, Alfano to the blue line, he'll go with it. Switching positions, he's skating all around with it, sends this one back behind, takes an odd bounce off the backboards. Quentin Burns with it. Burns moved in through neutral ice and back in the defensive end. Ambrosio leads it forward. Moved in, Oliver Phillips. Lame duck dies inside of the wide corner. Little check applied back there as Quentin Burns is sent down out of the ice by Alex Messier, and back inside of the defensive end it'll go for Ty Henry. 8 minutes, 14 seconds left to go, period number 1. Worked in, mid-slot, Phillips trying to get around a few black and gold sweaters, finds it down for Ty Henry. Henry back behind, Alex Messier with it. Messier using that frame, and that's a nice feed to Phillips that he just can't claim. Erie back in the defensive end. No shots on that rush shift, but nice offensive zone possession.
Much better pressure in the offensive zone, and it's that line again. Femus, Alfano, and Edwards creating some havoc for Erie.
Back below the goal line, Lalonde works it up as this one's taken by Xander Valeris. Entering in left wing side, Cedric Gendol, as we mentioned, a former Western Conference player here as the Erie Otters bring it out to Wesley Royston. Royston, who had 3 goals last weekend, maybe getting a little bit more targeting defensively here from a defensive coach as you think, okay, well, the guy's hot right now. You got to keep the hot stick down.
Yeah, 3 goals in 2 games. That'll certainly get attention of everybody around the league.
Power play goal, even strength goal, and an empty net goal. They all count the same, no matter what letters they've got before them. A PPG and ENG. This one will find its way over left wing side. Sauter can't able to get to that one as it finds its way back for Ethan Miedema. Miedema, nice little dig through the legs defensively as this one goes back wide wall. Carey Terrance down. Back of the blue line, Miedema driving, shooting, rebound in front, stuck inside of the honey hole. This one finds its way back wide wall, and the Erie Otters are going to be able to clear this one out as it finds its way to the neutral zone. Lead feed for Martin Misiak initially, but he was nowhere near the puck to get to it. Entering in left wing side. Back below the goal line it'll go, collected by Lucas Ambrosio as he works up the near wall, trying to cut through the defense. Back below the goal line, leaves it for Nolan Lalonde. Lalonde back for Burns. Burns up the wall, this one found back in neutral ice. Sent in on the blue line and right back out. Erie has to get back on side. 6:10 left to go here. 8-4 shots for Kingston. 1-0 lead for the Otters thanks to Lucas Ambrosio as Erlin will just scoot this one along. Davio, this one squeaks its way to the net front. Danger as it finds its way bouncing into the glove. And a save is able to be made by Erlin. He didn't break a sweat even if we were up here in the booth and inside of the stands as the Erie Otters, well, they hold a 1-0 lead here, but don't count Kingston out just yet. That 1-0 deficit certainly hasn't seemed to impair their ability too much. Some good shots, good rushes in the offensive end, and they're doing the right thing you got to do here against Erlin, which is crash the nets.
Good response certainly from Kingston, but boy, have I been impressed with Noah Erliden tonight. He's been just fantastic for the Otters. He's seeing the puck well tonight. He looks locked in and really looks as good as we've seen him so far throughout the early part of this season. So exciting to see how the game continues to roll on. But again, credit to Kingston. They went down early, a goal 93 seconds into the game, especially on the road, right? That can kind of throw you off a little bit. But I think they've done a nice job in responding and have created some good chances for themselves.
And even if the Otters haven't gotten many shots off in the last little stretch, I think they're doing a really nice job of creating offensive zone opportunity time, which is sometimes just as important. You can't get shots if you're not inside of the offensive end, and if you're not moving the puck inside of the offensive end, you're not going to lead to shots either.
Yeah, so I think for Erie, it's a matter of just trying to create more chances in the offensive zone, spend a little bit more time there. We've seen it a little bit, but not as much as I think you would have liked to see over the last little bit here. So we'll see how that continues to change. Kingston's been really, after the goal went in, I'd say Kingston's been the better team.
I would say so. Good penalty kill. Shots have been in their favor, differential of 9-3. So now it's about the Erie Otters responding and closing out this period strong, more than just with a goal lead, which you'll take, but you want to have a little more momentum behind it. Back below the goal line, here's Quentin Burns just sitting inside of the trapezoid waiting for a play to develop. Only Otter in the area back there. That's Panofemis as this one skates its way up and in. Lost back by McNamara. Mid-slot opportunity. Erlin makes his body a glove and comes up with a save. 5:23 to go, and Kingston has entered into double-digit shot category.
That little toe drag maneuver right there from Euronin trying to find the back of the net, but Noah Erlin again sticks with him all the way and makes another strong stop. Boy, yeah, this young man, he's locked in tonight. He's seeing the puck very, very well, and that's obvious to see throughout the first 15 minutes or so in the game.
And as we showed his stats right before puck drop, I mean, the numbers that he has, it's not common for OHL goaltenders to be in the nines when it comes to save percentage. This is an offensive league, and I don't think anyone will deny that.
Yeah, certainly the case, and again, it's super early, but he can play anywhere near the level he's played so far. Otters got their goaltender.
Oh, Alex Messier tried to get as wide of a stretch as he possibly could. Challenger came in just a second too late, and an offside is the call.
Yeah, Challenger a little head of steam as he was trying to work his way into the offensive zone. Like to see that from the young rookie. Is, of course, the guy who's picked right after him just scored his first goal. I think 84's. He would love to get his out of the way tonight, too.
Boy, he was so close on the power play last weekend where Wesley Royston got his first. You know it's in the air. These first-round picks, they don't take too long to get that first one. Back below the goal line. Here's Holomego, stuck inside of the trapezoid. Battle for it back here. Some cross checks coming in strong. So one finding its way out wide side, and the Erie Otters will pick it up as Challenger sends it right back into there. Holomego with it. 4 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in period number one. 1-0 lead for the Erie Otters. It was Lucas Ambrosio with his first career goal to put the Otters in the lead near the end of period one. Henry, gotta be careful skating in front of your own net as this one finds its way back inside of the neutral zone. Worked over right wing side, but the only Otter in the area is Oliver Phillips to take it away for the home team. Moved in left wing side, Malik McGowan waiting for reinforcements as he drives toward the net front. Stick check back there from Noah Erliden as it goes to the blue. Top of the right circle, left back, Miedema moving in, nice move, working that one to the wide side and back to the wall it'll go. That was a nice move for Miedema, but didn't get a shot on goal. Back at the blue line, Right wing side it goes, back to the blue line, and setting it back up here will be Miedema. Miedema doing the hard work because he's got it back below the goal line. Set it out in front, puck jumping in the air and finds its way to the wide wall. Puck got a stick on it, has to come back down. That kills the shift for the Frontenacs, but a good job done by Ethan Miedema. Now they're right back in. Working down, shooting, nice stick in the lane by Ty Henry. Up to the near wall, it'll go to the blue line for McGowan. McGowan takes a slight body from Wesley Royston, and back into the trapezoid it'll go. Gage Hayes to the blue line for McGowan. D-to-D passing as this one goes over wide side to Williamson. Back behind it'll go. Hayes with Henry getting his body in the way. On to the right circle. Arm up for a penalty. Frontenacs look frustrated as this one's called, and a hold will be the call with 3 minutes, 13 seconds left to go in period one.
Excellent job from Ty Henry as he draws the penalty, and he'll send the Otters to the power play. Gage Hayes will make his way over to the box.
And as we get close to the end of this period, we look ahead to what is ahead in our intermission report. We'll have the latest on Matthew Schaefer's return. It's positive, opening period highlights, and a handful of score updates from our handful of games around the OHL. Think about what you've done. The old chant back here as this one finds its way down, and the Erie Otters will work with this one back inside of their defensive end. Moving its way up and in, Alexi Davio. Top of the right circle with it. Moving it back, this one finds its way inside of the corner. Erie in the offensive end, trying to get something going. They had just a single shot on their last power play opportunity. Back in the blue, here's Davio. Davio leaves it up the near wall. Mishiak with it. Mishiak over the left wing side. This one found right wing side by Spence, who had the first shot of the game. Mishiak, top of the right circle, back for Spence. Spence, walk in the circle, back, Davio with it. Davio at the blue line. Davio driving down with a head full of steam, moves it back at the wall, finds its way for Frasca, back for Davio. Pass that one to Wesley Royston as he was being crunched down by the defense of the Frontenacs. Spence with it, stopping on a dime. Top of the left circle, Frasca to Mishiak. Mishiak trying to create some separation. Mishiak, oh, and that one bodied away, and taking all of it was Pianiemi. Below the goal line, Spence stopping, Mishiak with it. Back it'll go, blue line, shot, dancing in, where it'll go, and it'll be taken into the paw by Noel Lalonde. As down on the ice goes an Otter. And with 41 seconds left to go on the power play, the Erie Otters do get a shot and do get an offensive zone draw.
Oh, a cross check going to be the call on Burns, but they're going to get Wesley Royston as well, who's had a super emotional start to this game. He did have the little whack on Nolan Lalonde, so I think that's where you get the Otter player being taken and you take them both. But then indeed slashing is the call on Royston, then you get the cross check on Quentin Burns. So again, probably right, a little scrum in front of the net here. You get a look at the replay. See, he kind of bumps Lalonde there. Not really a lot in it though. So interesting one, but we're going to stay 5-on-4.
That'll be offsetting minors right there, so it remains a power play for the Otters regardless, but now you get one extra body out there. Finding its way right wing side, Femus. Oh, and a miscommunication with Ty Henry as this one finds its way back into the defensive end. 30 seconds left to go on the penalty against Gage Hayes.
I think with the power play tonight, it's a perfect combination of the power play just being a smidge off, like just a hair off, and then on the other side of that, Kingston's penalty kill so well set up.
Femus feeds it in front and not able to get that one past. 10 seconds left to go on the man advantage. Femus waiting, calculating his opportunities. Top of the right circle, down to the goal line. Terrance wanted to drive the net front. Instead, McGowan got in the way. That will do it for the opportunity on the man advantage. And we've got 1:10 left to go here in period one. Erie in, Alfano, top of the left circle it'll go. Takes an odd bounce and finds its way back behind. Once again, just a single shot on the power play for Erie. Down below the goal line, Erie's going to head to the box here. Trip will be the call, if I'm not mistaken, as we enter into the final minute of period one.
Yeah, it should be on Sam Alfano, and that is indeed who they got. He swept away at the puck. He got the puck initially, but then he takes the man down as well on the follow-through. So tripping the call. Alfano not happy because he's saying, I got the puck. In fact, they got him for a hold. So they didn't get the trip. They got him for falling on top of the Kingston player and maybe staying on him a little too long. Again, that's a tough one, but
Now we'll see what the Otters penalty kill is able to do. Ranked number 8, around 83% if you round up. Had a big night last Friday, and a new system for Ken Peroff's unit's been working out.
Great block in front for Brett Hammond, who had the game-winning goal on Saturday night. And out of the zone it'll go.
To number 33, Sam Alfano, 2 minutes for holding.
So not for the trip, but for the hold, rather, as this one finds its way up against the near glass. And the easiest kind of clear is the one you don't have to make, as Brett Hammond's stick is held. No arm goes up, and we will play on in the final 26. That seemed like a pretty evident one.
Yeah, that's really a simple call with Brett Hammond there. He's tied up. It saved a breakaway. It's not the worst play in the world from a Kingston perspective, but that's one that should have been called.
Final 14 seconds, and the pressure is on. The Frontenacs moving in their offensive end. No shots on the power play yet. Battaglia gets this one over. The Otters will take it. Spence, what a move. 3 seconds left. You got to get a shot off. Fires one. And I think a nice stick on the back end prevented that one from being a good shot. Probably wouldn't have made it before the whistle anyway, but boy, an opportunity right there. And the Erie Otters are going to find themselves up by 1 going into the intermission break, but this game feels very even at this current moment.
It's exactly what we expected, I think, Sean. I think coming into this, expected to be a pretty tight game. I think Kingston's been solid, though. On the road, you got 10 shots on goal through the first 20 minutes of play. I think you really got to like from a perspective what they've been able to produce here tonight on the road, away from home, and playing pretty well. I think you can make the case they deserve a goal in this game. So great work on the penalty kill from them. I've been relatively impressed with what they've been able to do. Now from an Erie side, you got that really good start, right? You come out on fire, but then again, Kingston kind of grew into the game a little bit more. So again, a pretty even period overall, and I think for both sides, there's stuff to be happy about, there's stuff to be angry about, and it's been a quite penalty-filled game so far as well.
Yeah, to say the least. And for the Erie Otters, so far in this one, they have got 10 shots allowed against them, 5 shots to their credit, but they've got the only shot that matters, and that's the one that finds its way to the back of the net. So you can say the would've and the could've and the should've, but the most important thing is what is. You're only as good as the scoreboard says you are, and right now the scoreboard says the Erie Otters are in a 1-0 advantage, but if you're Erie, kill off this penalty when you come back out. You got to take care of business here. How that game started, how the period started, that's nice. How the game went on, most of that first period, if you're Stan Butler, you're not going to be very happy about.
And again, that's what goes into Cabea's keys in the 60 minutes, right? Got to play a full 60 minutes. You can't win a hockey game in 5. You got to play the whole thing to play it out. Now, that one that did enter the net, that's a super special one for Lucas Ambrosio and for everybody down there. I'm sure that a lot of congratulations, but I feel like it almost gets kind of hidden over with how Kingston was able to respond after going down a goal.
1-0, the Erie Otters are in the lead here from the Erie Insurance Arena through 20 minutes of play. We'll be right back on the Intermission Report.
Born and raised in Erie, tried college first semester, wasn't a fan, so ended up just working in the field, welding. Found out about EC3's welding program and decided to go there. The community college just gives a smaller, more family-like atmosphere. You get to know everybody, and it was awesome. Feels really good to look back on what all I've done there and the accomplishments that I've achieved from there.
Live here, learn here. Apply today at ec3pa.org.
Take control with the all-new CHL app, the home of every team, every fan, and every moment. And now, the CHL app features thousands of live games. Simply find your game of choice, log in with your existing CHL TV account, and stream any game, anytime, anyplace, live or on demand. The all-new CHL app, now with CHL TV. Find us on the Apple Store or Google Play Store and supercharge your experience today.
1-0, the Erie Otters find themselves up in this one. Lucas Ambrosio with the goal. And for the Erie Otters, you got to be pretty happy about how things are going right now in this one. All things considered from a score perspective, but it's like we talked about, it's the littler things that the Erie Otters maybe not so happy about. You're outshot in this one. You find yourself on a penalty kill coming into period number 2. Again, if you kill it off, it's moot point. You can get yourself the shots back in this game. But the current position, you should be happier than you are.
Yeah, it's the details, right? And for a coach like Stan Butler, who's as detail-oriented as it gets, I think you mentioned it right before we went to break. They're probably not going to be happy with a lot of elements of that period, but I think you got to try and bottle up the start that they had. They were on top of Kingston to begin the hockey game, and I think there was a lot to build off of there, and you get the goal. Sometimes you start a game like that, you don't get a goal.
Yeah.
So to have a goal, and again, for it to be Lucas Ambrosio's first, which just, it's got to feel so good for the young man, and just so fired up for him because he's been so good in every game. He's been noticeable. He's been strong. He's so good in the defensive zone. So to see a guy like that get rewarded with a goal just puts a smile on your face. And again, really hoping to see Ty Challenger find the back of the net for his first here soon. So again, a lot of positives, but again, I think there's a lot of negatives. And, you know, there might be more positives from a Kingston side coming out of it.
I would say so, and if you remove the score, you would certainly say momentum is in the favor of the Kingston Frontenacs. But again, the only important thing is at the end of the game, all the other stats are just numbers until you get to the score. So for the Otters, you know you have the lead. You know you have a great goaltender, Noah Erliden, and of course, let's not lose it. He didn't have to face too many shots, but anytime you're taking double-digit shots, that's, again, about a 30-shot average per game, which through 10 shots, he has 10 saves. He's doing his job. The defense in front of him is doing their job. It's only been a 15-shot period. Defense is coming through a little bit more. Goals might be at a premium.
Yeah, Erlin's been terrific, I think. He's looked as good as we've seen him over the first part of this season, which he's just been excellent all season long. So to see him continue his development, right, and continue just being strong and being a big focal point for the Erie Otters is really impressive to see. And again, I think he was as good as it gets. He's reading the puck well. You kind of tell when a goalie has it, and he's got it tonight, right? And, you know, for Nolan Lalonde as well, a lot of times in an Otters uniform, we'd see him give up a goal that maybe he should have had, and all of a sudden things might go off the rails a little bit. There wasn't that at all. I thought he was pretty strong as the period went on. Again, it was only 5 shots, but there's some pretty good looks. So for both goaltenders, it seems like they're seeing it pretty well right now.
1-0 the Erie Otters lead in this one. Of course, we've talked about as a story here tonight and most of the season. Matthew Schaefer still not in the lineup. However, good news is coming. Schaefer's getting closer. Hear from the guys.
Getting better day by day. I feel so much better. Been in the gym on the ice, hoping to be back not this weekend, next weekend.
He's probably, we'll have to see after this week, but he's getting closer. You know, he's wearing equipment now. He's got a red jersey. So, you know, I just think when you have a player that has such strong potential and there's so much at stake for him this year, you know, not just with the team, but personally as well, that, you know, we gotta just be patient and make sure he's 100% ready before we throw him back in there.
Yeah, it's just nice to have him around the rink, and it helps us, you know, and I'm sure it helps him to being back around the guys and getting into it and, you know, getting on the ice. I think it's just huge. Just it's about time that he catches a break and can play some games. So, you know, it's nice to get him back with the boys and see him happy and see him out there.
Yeah, you go through a lot of ups and downs in your life, and you got to look at it in a good perspective. And you know, it's a little sickness, but I want to become back better than ever. So yeah.
Such a positive kid. You just have to root for him. And it's so good to hear in his draft year where there's so much that you're playing for. I know he's gnawing at the bit. I know he's so ready to get back. And having him out there with the red non-contact jersey, having him out there wheeling around and just being back around the team, it does a lot, not just for him personally, but he brings in a lot of positive energy, obviously, as an alternate captain for this team.
He does. Just so much fun. And how can you not like and root for Matthew Schaefer, not only for everything that he's overcome, especially last season, for the stuff that he had to go through as a 16-year-old is just unfathomable and just unimaginable. And to still produce the way he did and the way he is going to when he puts that uniform on for the first time, hoping it's next week. That was what he said. Stan Butler was a little less positive when it came to that, but obviously Schaefer he's chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
You know that he has so much to prove. This is a big year for this young man. Obviously, it doesn't get any bigger than your draft year, and for a guy who realistically could go top 10 in the NHL draft. Otters haven't had a prospect defenseman like this since Jamie Drysdale, who obviously is doing just fine for himself now in Philadelphia. So it's a big year for Matthew Schaefer, and again, to step up and be a big leader on the blue line, not only in the locker room, but also for a young guy like a Lucas Ambrosio, and being able to take some of the slack offensively away from a guy like Alexi Davio or Ty Henry, who've done nice jobs, especially Ty Henry, who's done a very nice job filling in as the quarterback on power play unit number 1. Obviously, that duty will go to number 48 once he's healthy and back in the lineup. So they've done a nice job in terms of having guys fill in, and Keegan Knight's done a very appreciated job and kind of an under-the-radar nice job when he has played as well. Expected that he'll probably be the guy who makes way when Schaefer does rejoin the lineup here. So, again, you can't wait to get Matthew Schaefer back. It's just, you're seeing him on the ice so good, just the butter smooth skating and the way he moves the puck. Just imagine that in a game action again. It's been so long since we've seen him play, and really looking forward to seeing him back in a uniform. I think, again, circle the 24th. We'll be in Barrie coming up 1 week from tonight, hopefully. That'll be the time we see Schaefer. Again, wouldn't mind, though, if they maybe hold him off and put him in the lineup for the home game on the 26th. Make Halloween here at the rink a little extra special.
More of a treat than a trick in that one. And apropos of nothing, he was also asked, Matthew Schaefer that is, in his media availability this week, about his thoughts on Lucas Ambrosio. Number one thing he said, I can't wait to suit up with him. Haven't gotten the chance to yet. Really excited for that. I think we're all excited about that here in Otterland.
Certainly an exciting prospect because, again, you could see how the pairs may shake up, whether they play him with Sauter, that being Schaefer, or if they maybe do play him with Ambrosio. But, for me, I don't know if I'd break up the Davio-Ambrosio pair. I think they've done a nice job together and had a chance to talk to Alexi Davio yesterday on an upcoming edition of Off the Record.
That's a tease.
We'll be soon. But we talked a lot about Lucas Ambrosio and how those two kind of complement each other. But I think those two would complement each other the same, and that being with Matthew Schaefer as opposed to Davio, with Schaefer's ability to jump into the rush and create so much offensively. Having a steady presence like a Lucas Ambrosio back there would do wonders for him. But also we've seen Schaefer play a lot with Nathan Sauter over last season. So I think that's another pair. Those two were paired up most of the year last year. So be interesting to see if Stan and Ken Peroff decide to go that route. So there's so many options that having a guy as versatile and just as straight up good, just quite frankly good, as Matthew Schaefer back in the lineup it brings. And I'm just getting giddy thinking about it.
We will see in the days to come if Matthew Schaefer will take off the red contact jersey and get ready to put on the navy and gold. We'll step aside here momentarily on the Intermission Report. When we come back, highlights from period 1 and a look around the Ontario Hockey League on a Thursday night.
Most people don't recognize me when I'm not in uniform, but when I carry my Erie Bank card, I get treated like gold.
Experience better banking with Erie Bank.
Worked in right wing side, Pano Femus in from the right, centers it, Alfano, it takes a bad hop off his stick. Top of the left circle it'll go, back down, left wing side, Edwards sends it inside of the corner, set up play, back to the blue line, shot through traffic, they score! 18:27 to go in period number 1. And how about it, Lucas Ambrosio, first career Ontario Hockey League goal. Down below the goal line, it'll go. Down the ice it goes. Maybe time for one last rush for the Erie Otters if they can get something going here. Playing right to the net front. Erlinen sells out and makes the save. Still loose in front and back up against the near wall. 6:10 left to go here. 8-4 shots for Kingston. 1-0 lead for the Otters thanks to Lucas Ambrosio as Erlinen will just scoot this one along. Davio, this one squeaks its way to the net front. Danger as it finds its way bouncing into the glove. And a save is able to be made by Erlinen. He didn't break a sweat even if we were up here in the booth. We look around the Ontario Hockey League, and so far it has been a story of more of defense so far through the opening 20. Owen Sound, a 1-1 game in Barrie at the Sadlon Arena. 1-0 the Erie Otters up here. Ottawa and Niagara in a 1-1 contest. Sarnia 1-0 with the North Bay Battalion. And the Peterborough Petes up at home to the Oshawa Generals. Not a lot to write too many stories about right now, but anything that's sticking out to you more than the other?
Yeah, I think the Ottawa game we expected to be kind of a close one, and that's been the case there. Not too far away, about an hour and 40 minutes or so up I-90 and across the border to the Meridian Center, which will be in a couple Thursdays from now.
First time, finally.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Yeah, certainly so. And, plenty of good games and a busier than usual Thursday here around the Ontario Hockey League. Good to see North Bay, by the way, finally getting some home games.
Yeah.
Kingston finally getting some road games. Seems like they've been playing a ton of home games. So kind of starting to see the season start to take shape a little bit more and start to see where these teams really, who they are, right? Because what is this, game 7 now for the Otters? You're starting to really form a bit more of an identity, and I think, again, the identity really is going to take shape once Matthew Schaefer jumps back in.
Certainly will, and if I'm not mistaken, what was it, 6 straight road games for North Bay to basically open the season?
Yeah, how's that for a start to the year,
No
right?
kidding.
Yeah, enjoy the road. And I guess for Kingston, right, they're getting one of their longer trips out of the way. I believe Brantford included on this road trip, maybe Brampton as well, if I saw the schedule correct. Might be Niagara. One of the two, somewhere there. So they're starting to get one of their longer trips out of the way early on in the season. And for them, it's been a lot of games playing at home at Slush Puppy Place. So for Kingston, again, getting out on the road, and again, you heard it on Across the Ice earlier on in the show that Jim Gilchrist said, yeah, we haven't played a lot of road games, so this is a trip that I think is going to tell us a lot about what this Kingston team is, and I think the first period did too. They're a pretty scrappy team. They're really solid in front of their goaltender in Nolan Lalonde, only allowing the 5 shots. And on the other side, they can create some offense. Their top 6 pretty good. I thought Ethan Miedema was terrific. He was everywhere, and he created a couple of good looks at net. Of course, Battaglia always going to be a threat, and Soto had the big chance that he was unable to convert.
Yeah, Matthew Soto, just moments, a reaction time, a paddle to stick away from a tie game. But you're certainly right. Miedema, the only problem that he's had so far here, he's done a really nice job of making the hard parts, getting to the net front, getting open looks. He's just not been hitting the net. And when you're not hitting the net, pucks usually don't go in. They say you have to put the puck on net for the puck to go in the net unless you get a wayward body. He's been doing the hard part. Now hit the goalie, hit the net. You've got room to work with.
Exactly. He's been really good. He's been getting to the right spots. And like you mentioned, he's doing all the hard stuff. It's just a matter, throw it at the net, hit the net. That's all you got to do. They used to tell us all the time. Again, you can't score if you don't hit the net. So why not make the goaltender work? And you never know. There could be a body in front. There could be a rebound. So if he can find a way to just get that shot down, right, you're not trying to hear the loud crack of the glass. You want to hear maybe a pad or something, or the tickling of the twine as the puck hits the net. So we'll see what Miedema can do, but I thought he was Kingston's best player in the first period. He was really, really enjoyable to watch. And again, a pretty familiar foe, former Windsor Spitfire. Guys had a very interesting career path of going back and forth from Windsor and Kingston. It's wild that he ended up with multiple stints with both organizations. So pretty wild career for Ethan Miedema, now I believe in his overage season. So the guy who's been really good, though, for the Fronts tonight, and we'll see if he can keep it going. And see, I think Kingston deserves a goal in this game. We'll see if they can find it.
What you deserve and what you get are two different things, but when we come back for period number 2, Kingston will have 64 seconds of power play time. We'll see what they can do with it when we come back on the Intermission Report.
Looking for a true hometown advantage this hockey season? Score ride to the game on the EMTA.
Get on board, EMTA. Get on board.
Chills and thrills await on October 26th at the Erie Insurance Arena for a Saturday Halloween spooktacular with the Erie Otters. To help your trick-or-treating around the concourse, the first 1,500 fans in the arena will receive their very own Otters pillowcase. Grab your costumes, bring your sweet tooth, and get your tickets now on ottershockey.com. If you dare. We are back in for period number 2 in just a little bit. And as these two teams get back onto the ice, well, we know what the mission is for either team. If you're Kingston, take advantage of this power play, score early, and have the momentum that you took from period number 1 lead into something real and that you're able to have as a tangible thing. And if you're Erie, get back to how you started.
Yeah, certainly the case. And for the Otters, a big chance here for momentum is on the board. They show the moment that Matthew Soto probably didn't want to see again. He'll be seeing it as nightmares with the chance in front. But, well, hey, again, big chance for the Otters to really switch momentum early on in this hockey game or in this second period and try and see what the Otters can do in terms of changing momentum, kill off the penalty, and then go from there. We'll see if they can create some more shots. It's been tough. It's been tight around the front of the net. So we'll see if this one will maybe change a little bit in their favor.
And maybe we should have talked about it a little bit more. We talked about offensive unsuccess, lack thereof success. I thought the defense of the Frontenacs did a really nice job of, they allowed offensive possession time, offensive zone time. There were no passing lanes and there were no shooting lanes, and you had some of your best guys out there looking for both of those.
Yeah, they were really strong, especially in terms of spacing on the penalty kill. I thought they did a nice job in limiting just zero space for the Erie Otters to operate in, and that's why the Otters were not able to have much success on the power play. So for Kingston, a matter of just trying to keep that up. I like their defensive structure, and it's a team that hasn't allowed a lot of goals. If you go through their game-by-game results, they've been really stout in their defensive zone. Lalonde's been a big part of that, but on the other side, they've been playing well in front of them.
Two teams line up at center ice, period number 2, and we are underway in the EIA second period action. 1 minute of power play time remains here for the Kingston Frontenacs. Entering in left wing side, and this one's moved in by Battaglia, taken away by Terrance, and just throws it down the ice. That's all you got to do.
Exactly the case. Love that from Kerry Terrance. And again, this Otters penalty kill, they've been a nice bright spot over the early going of the season.
Worked in right wing side. Brought in by Euronin, back below the goal line it'll go. To the blue line, it's found back by Piniemi as it finds its way inside of the circles. Sauter will take this one back now. 19-20 left to go in the second. Opportunity moving as that one might hit something wayward and found its way out of the zone. It looked like a nice opportunity. Instead, ends up about 200 feet the other way.
Got to get a little more on the clearance from Nathan Sauter. Otters had guys going forward.
Themis tried to get a redirected puck. Instead, it jumps behind. Themis is a bulldog right now. Look at him go. To the blue line he'll go. He's trying to get greener pastures. And do it yourself, Pano-Themis. The penalty's killed off, and we're back to even strength. Pano-Themis throws it to an open Edwards. You cannot corral it. Edwards throws it instead to a wide open Emil Piniemi, and it's taken back on the near wall. Ambrosio down. Edwards right in front. No chance for Alfano to catch that one cleanly. Top of the right circle, it'll be taken back now. Finding its way out of the zone. Ambrosio looking back after this one. Finding its way deep inside of the defensive end. They'll save for an icing. And the Erie Otters will have a draw inside of their defensive end. So nice job on the kill. Allow no momentum to go on the Kingston side. And even for Pano-Themis, pretty good shift.
How about the shift from Pano-Themis? How in the world did he pick that pass to Dylan Edwards? There was no lane there. Edwards wasn't even ready for the puck because he understood only Pano-Themis can make that pass. That is just a sensational play, and the chemistry that those three have is just something to behold.
This one finds its way up against the near wall. Out of the zone, it'll go Pano-Themis. Spent some preseason time at an NHL camp in Columbus alongside his good pal Sam Alfano, and hopefully when his OHL days are done, pro hockey's what's calling for him, because a player that smart and that good deserves the next level. Up it'll go, McGowan. Not sure where he was going with that one, but a 2-on-1's coming the other way. Edwards in with Terrance. Edwards bodied off the puck. Didn't really have a choice. He had to take the shot. Ben Williamson was riding his brakes. Down below the goal line, Terrance wide open look, kind of on an odd angle, and Royston was looking for 4 in 3 games. To the blue line it'll go, Halamago dumps it in wide corner, Mishak back in after it, sticks broken back behind. This one will find its way inside of the trapezoid. Mishak try to do it all himself. Erie will get it back as it's Terrance. Bouncing toward the net, goes back behind. Mishak wants to set it back up again and get some room. Back to the blue line. Henry, shot immediately blocked by Miedema. Nice job by Henry sticking with it though. Royston, top of the left circle. He'll keep it going, send it right back behind for Mishak and clear the garbage out of there. Are the Kingston Frontenacs as Gage Hayes. This one's down and we'll be back for an icing. 17:07 left to go in period number 2. And the Otters starting off this period very similar to how they started period 1.
Much better start to the period. Otters have been on pucks and certainly done a nice job in terms of pressuring and creating turnovers. So now, again, you had a great chance for Wesley Royston, who, with his little streak he's had going, you would have maybe favored him to find the back of the net, unable to do so, but really impressed with how Royston has played and how things have gone here for Erie.
Face-off due up in the right circle here as the Erie Otters will find themselves back in the offensive end where they've spent a good chunk of time in period 2 so far. Shots 11-6 in favor of Kingston. No drop on the draw initially. Frasca up against his former team, not able to win that one back. First 3 minutes of period number 2 gone by. And in from the right wing side, Needham, a nice move. Trying to create some room. Back below the goal line, he'll go with it. Put it out in front. Was just looking for a little redirect action there. Nearly got it. Arm up from the official. Stick from Hammond was underneath of a Frontenac, and it's going to be a tripping penalty.
Looks like they're going to get Nathan Sauter who's going to go. So I saw what you saw with Hammond involved, but it will indeed be Nathan Sauter on his way to the penalty box. So again, Otters got to find a way to stay out of the box. As good as the penalty kill has been, we're seeing them too much. So we'll see if they can kill it off, but got to be a bit more disciplined in your defensive zone. With how this game has been officiated, they see something, they're calling something tonight.
Certainly has been the case so far. And with 16:50 left to go in period 2, the Erie Otters will start off the penalty by clearing it down the ice. And you're exactly right. It doesn't matter really how good you are on the PK, because as this one finds its way in, Alfano trying to dig it right back behind his former teammate, jumping back, and it finds its way into the trapezoid. No matter what, your goal on the PK is still just kill time. And when you're an offense that's trying to get things together, it doesn't play to your favor, especially, obviously, when you're down a man. Out of the zone, this one will go. Alfano playing a very good penalty kill in his opening 33 seconds of the shift. Back in the defensive end, it'll go. Worked up, right wing side. Ironin moves it up to Battaglia. Top of the left circle. Strong stick from Ty Henry. Sends it right back out of the zone.
Yeah, well done from Ty Henry. I thought he's been pretty good tonight. There's been a couple of instances where he's not been afraid to body his man, and he's drawn a penalty, so good work for number 2 tonight.
Kept his game very simple, not trying to do too much. Just play to your skills. Back below the goal line. This one taken back, bottom of the right circle. Now behind it's Battaglia. Open look opportunity. Soto can't body that one into the net. Back at the blue line, Quentin Burns with it. Top of the left circle. Moving it over right wing side. A little too strong for Cedric Guindot. Guindot back to Burns, back to Guindot. Trying to make some room as Malcolm Spence is all over him. Battaglia back behind. Centered opportunity, wrong hand, and the Otters are going to get this one as they'll lead it out of the zone. Look at the speed from Malcolm Spence coming in with his friend Terrance. Shot, and that one maybe enough of the stick for Nolan Lalonde. Back in defensive ice, it'll go. Battaglia collects it. Back below the goal line, it'll go. Battaglia sent back in for Soto below the goal line. Moving this one near corner. Squeaks out, and that will just about do it for the power play opportunity. Nice job done once again by Ken Peroff's PK unit, and the Otters return to even strength.
Another strong kill from the Otters PK, and really impressed with what they've done so far.
Getting in the way down there was Oliver Phillips, who's been a notable presence in today's game early on in his OHL career. This one, Davio knocks it down. He'll bring it in onside. Good heads-up play. Trying to move this one down as far as he can. Instead, it'll be taken the other way by Luke McNamara as a 2-on-2 develops. McNamara up and in. Phillips trying to take it away. Ooh, maybe got away with a hold right there. He grabbed a lot of jersey. Back defensive ice. 14:15 to go, second period. Up the right wing side. Henry, nice job shutting down McNamara. Didn't touch him, no interference, just not allowing the man to get past you presence-wise. Davio to Challenger. Challenger, move this one to Henry. Henry keeps it going vertical. Inside of the corner it'll go. Oliver Phillips as Henry's down on the ice. Bodies all over each other, trying to go back after this one. Instead, it'll find its way out from the right wing side. Here's Hayes moving it forward, 2-on-2 in. Hayes waiting, shooting. Oh, he hits nothing but crossbar. Noah Erlending gets bailed out a bit by the pipe as the net comes off, and we've got bodies down on the ice back behind. You're inches away from a goal right there, and instead all you hear is bang.
What a quick release from Gage Hayes, and Ty Henry being kind of taken out of the play as he was dragged out of the ice behind the net. That allowed the 2-on-1 chance for Kingston. Flying forward, crossbar, Erlending gets taken out, and we go to break.
My OHL gives back to communities that support it. There's been such a great connection between our local communities and Special Olympians. With all the member teams have some association with Special Olympics, so the member nights just seem to be a great fit. When you're standing beside someone in the community that looks up to and respects, that helps our athletes gain that respect and gain that focus and attachment to the community as well.
Now look at the Erie bench as they have started to get this game back to the normal area, not having the momentum from the Kingston side. Some good penalty kills, albeit you don't want to be on the penalty kill. Shots are going back in their favor. A much better second period thus far than the first period.
I would agree. I think they've been a little bit more consistent in this period, a little bit more zone time. Still only the 2 shots, though. It's been a very low-shot game. It's been a game that's been played pretty well in the defensive zone, all for a couple of breaks going the other way like we just saw on the Kingston side. So for Erie, it's a matter of trying to get another one, right? You've only got the 2 shots on goal. Continue to try and pepper Nolan Lalonde and see if you can get one behind him.
The 7 shots nearly halfway into this contest is an easy day's work for a goaltender, but not as easy when you allow a goal early on in the game. Back this one will go. Looking for some support from his offense as well in a 1-0 contest. And so far they've been the leader in shots with 11. Noah Erliden's been good and stopped them all. Back it'll go from the left wing side. McGowan sends it back from the right wing side as it finds its way back inside of the corner. Nearly jumps off his stick. Out it'll go for Hayes. Gage Hayes moving in right wing side. Hayes lost it back to the line. Van Williamson with it. Van, as Erliden came out of his net to play it, didn't have to do too much as Henry sent down onto the ice. This one finding its way to an open man. Erliden meets it, loose in front, and back below the goal line it'll go. Inside of the corner, now moved up, centering slot. Nice job by the feet of Ty Henry, and he continues what's been a strong game for him. Edwards looking for it after the offensive entry. Quentin Burns will take it back below the goal line. 12:32 remaining here, period number 2. Out to neutral ice, moved in left wing side. Riley Clark with it. Clark with a shot, and trying to clear it out after a almost complete glove save from Noah Erliden was Noah Erliden. Holomego can't feed that one down for Dylan Edwards. Edwards still driving the net front. Good things can happen when you do that. Moved in through neutral ice. Brought in by Kelly. Top of the left circle. Centering it. Holomego clears the garbage away, and this one will be taken away by Carey Tarrant. Back of the blue line. Can't clear the zone. And just enough to roll the biscuit out of the zone as it'll be brought in by Kelly. Offside with 11:51 to go in the second period. So the neutral zone has become more of where this game has been played in the last few minutes.
It really has, and to go back to the point we were making on shots on goal, this is an Otters team. They average just over 38 shots a game, and a Kingston or an opponent team usually will average about 36 against the Erie Otters. We're sitting at 13-7, a combined total of 20. Just about 8 minutes into the period. So again, to put this in perspective, it's been a very abnormal night for the Erie Otters, usually giving up a lot of shots and usually getting a lot of shots themselves.
I was going to say, Erie, consistently over the last few years, whether or not they're a high-scoring team, they're a high-shooting team. And to see them at 7 right now, I'm sure it's as much of a head-scratcher for Wes Wolf as it is for every forward out there. So it'll find its way up. Davio brings it in offside, and the Otters will have to take a draw. Uh-oh. Davio's going to have to answer for that one. Immediately met by Cal Ewens. And that's not one you can make the excuse you didn't hear the whistle. That was just blatantly a shot after.
Yep, that one's certainly on Davio. And, yeah, you're going to have to answer for that. And Ewens having some words with Davio. And, again, former teammate in net, of course, you know, some emotions there. But Davio he'll have to answer for that. Shouldn't result in any penalties, but in fact, no, it looks like, yeah, Davio's going to the bench. He was skating toward the box for a second. Thought maybe they got him, but I think good call. No penalties on the play, and we move on.
So face-off is all that occurs as we have it outside of the offensive end of Erie. 11.5 left to go here in period number 2. Otters try and draw it into the offensive end. Mishiak, didn't take the puck with him on the shot. Arm goes up, penalty due up, and it's a slash with 11:23 left to go.
I think it helped him that he didn't get the shot away because where his stick ended up, well, that's where the Kingston stick who's looking to block the shot was, and he drew the slash. So it ends up working out well enough that Martin Mishiak right there was not in the right to get the shot away. It unfortunately didn't work out for him, but it does work out because now the Otters go on a power play.
It's saying a blessing and a curse would almost be too extreme, but it's a good from a bad. You know, the yin and the yang. So you don't get the shot, Now you get 2 minutes to take a few more open shots.
And from the angle he was shooting at, I think he'll take the power play 100 times out of 100 because that was a shot that was very much likely going to be absorbed by Nolan Lalonde. So now you get a power play, 2 minutes, try and find a better look.
Well, here we go, Pennsylvania Lottery power play. Carey Terrance in the danger zone. And Nolan Lalonde able to eat that one up as we'll get another offensive zone draw. That is just the 8th shot of the night for the Erie Otters, but well, they have 1 shot on the power play already, which their last 2 power plays, they've gotten a shot each.
Well, that was a design look off the faceoff as well, with Terrance kind of going to that bumper position, find him off the draw, turn, and he's got an option to pass it, or if it opens up like it did, take the shot. So Terrance able to find a little space, and that's exactly a play that they'll work on in practice. You draw it up, then it works out.
Face off back below the goal line, it'll go as this one's taken by Burns, and down the ice it'll go. Noah Erliden. Ty Henry crossing center, drop pass back, and a long feed down the ice. We'll go back for an icing. Yeah, not surprised to see that one. Erie just seems, I think you mentioned it their last power play, they just seem a step off. It just seems like there's something missing mentally between the players on the ice on the power play.
It really does. It's just not as sharp as it typically is. Normally, you wouldn't see this well-drilled as this Otters power play is. You would not see them ice the puck on the power play. And you see it there. It's a cardinal sin for any power play. You never ice the puck when you're a man up. Otters do it there, unfortunately, but able to escape well.
Well, you still got 90 seconds on your man advantage as Henry sends this one back below. Alfano in after it. Alfano, top of the right circle, works this one for Femus, over for Terrance, this is looking good. Terrance toward the net front, Nolan Lalonde comes out to stop it. Henry, right wing side, a very aggressive pass over to Femus. Offhand pass over to Edwards. Edwards collecting this one off of the juggle of the wall, back at the blue line, Henry. Alfano, and a wide side, it'll go back for Femus. Nice play, Femus. Centering opportunity, and Carey Terrance was as unready as, well, everybody else was to see it find its way there. 50 seconds left to go on the man advantage down the ice. Back for a clear, and Erie will take it inside of their defensive end. Henry to Mishiak. Mishiak moves this one in left wing side. Frasca room to work with, sends it to the heavens and out of play. 10:02 left to go in the second, and a draw due up in Erie's offensive end.
Excellent recovery from Malik McGowan. Him and Frasca were a couple of those involved in the photograph. It looked like he had a friendly word for him after the block shot. That's a terrific defensive play by Malik McGowan, getting the stick in the lane and creating a face-off.
Face-off due up, left circle now. Davio. Pitch and catch back here with Mishiak. Davio, oh, that is a gutty stop. Cal Ewens might have got that one with a little bit of the hand, but you make the stop how you have to, and you deal with the black and bruises later.
Boy, both penalty kills have been mighty impressive here tonight.
This is a bad turnover. Mishiak gives it to Ewens. He does get it back, and the Otters, with 18 seconds left to go on their power play, work this one in. Mishiak with it, working its way in. And comes in offside. 9 minutes and 35 seconds left to go. Final 11 seconds to go on the Otters man advantage. And once again, well, Erie's gotten 2 shots on this power play, but still just not a strong look so far here.
Yeah, just not clean on the entry there for the power play, and it's just unfortunate with how things have gone tonight. Just not quite as sharp on the man advantage.
Burns will work this one over right wing side. Phillips leads it back in through neutral ice, and that'll do it. Erie 0 for 3 on the man advantage with 4 total shots. On a 9-shot night, you're hoping the power play can pick up the slack. 5 shots at even strength, 4 shots on the power play, and halfway into this game, not even into the double digits just yet.
Well, if it is any silver lining, I'd say that was probably their best power play of the night. They had a couple of good looks, but still not quite what we saw over the first couple games.
Back in below the goal line it'll go. Sent up the wall as it's moved by Ambrosio. Grabbed by Williamson. Believe this one will be offside. Nope, we'll have a penalty back near the Otters bench with 8:51 to go.
Too many men, I think, maybe, with Messier, who didn't quite get off. He looks shaken up over there on the Otter bench. Unless maybe a high stick, 2 minutes.
8:51 to go, second period, and it's going to be an Otter power play that'll be a result as they do continue to check out Messier. So the captain will head to the box for the Frontenacs, and the Otters will head right back onto the power play as Quentin Burns finds himself in the sin bin.
Well, maybe if things didn't quite work out on the last one, there were certainly more positives on the last power play, so can Erie find a way? You certainly would love to see it.
2 minutes of man advantage time due up for the Erie Otters as Quentin Burns sits in the box. Face off right circle. Otters win the drop, and they've got this one back to the blue. Henry down. This one finding its way to Femus. Back for Henry. Henry, room to shoot. Sends this one up the near wall. Edwards wide around. Back it'll go for Femus toward the net front and clear to the top of the circle. A juggling act. They wanted a high stick call. Officials say no. Edwards. Back it'll go below the goal line. Terrance wanted to unload the gun, but he wasn't able to get the shot off clean. Moved over for Edwards. Back at the blue line for Henry. Good puck movement here for Edwards. Edwards back in, left wing side. Top of the right circle. Femus back for Terrance. And again, an unforced error sees it out of the zone.
So frustrating to watch because you can see the thought process. It's just guys not being quite in the right position. Just kind of strange to see.
Terrance down for Edwards, jumps off of his stick. Another unforced error and another clear for the Frontenacs.
That's a pass that just wouldn't sit down for Dylan Edwards. Everything was executed right. Just a little bit too much sauce on the saucer pass.
Ty Henry back. Spence leads it forward, up and out of the zone. Nice move right there. Back for Frasca, down for Spence. And if he cleanly catches that one, maybe he has an opportunity. Spence, stick is out of his hand now. Trying to get it down to Davio is Frasca. Getting his stick back is Spence. Spence, danger zone. Moves this one, bottom of the right circle. Wants to drive the net front, decides against it. Moves it inside of the near corner. 35 seconds left to go. Frasca moving just off the left wall. A give and go back with Wesley Royston. Top of the right circle. Mishiak moving it at the hash mark, shooting. Ooh, a nice block down there. Once again, Frontenacs are selling out on the blocks when needed. Shot in wide of the net. Top of the left circle, Frasca over wide side, 16 seconds left. Moved over for Mishiak to Frasca. Great stick in the lane, and back this one will find its way out of the zone as Hayes brings it in. Hayes back, right wing side, Gendol. Shot in, loose in front. Davio kicked it away. I don't even think he knew it. And that will do it for the Erie Otter man advantage. No shots on that power play officially.
Again, not great from the Otters power play, unable to get much established. And again, credit to Kingston. They've been very organized and very strong on the PK.
Boy, have they. They have been blocking shots every which way. Ice baths for everybody once they get back to the hotel. Moving in right wing side. Brought in McNamara. Head of steam, lost it back. Davio with it. This one grabbed out of the air, and it will find its way back out of play. 14-9 are shots. And as we mentioned, the Erie Otters, 4 shots on 4 power plays. 9 shots, nearly through 40 minutes of play here. And I'm glad you brought it up. Certainly credit where it's due. The defense has shut down passing lanes. They are blocking shots, but a lot of unforced errors for the Erie Otters.
Really has been, and like I mentioned, just guys not being in the right spots or passes not sitting down or just putting a little bit too much on a pass. It's stuff that can be fixed, which is a good part about it. So hopefully maybe a little chat, maybe a little intermission film session could iron things out.
And the good news for the Erie Otters, you mentioned it right there, it's the exception to the rule and not the rule itself. This one worked in left wing side, right in front, they score! Who else? Ethan Miedema, he's been a player to watch all night, and he gets the Fronts back into a tied-up game, 1-1 from Ethan Miedema.
Well, they kept killing penalty after penalty, and it was a matter of time for Ethan Miedema to find the back of the net. This is a gorgeous passing play. Strong entry for Kingston, and Battaglia and Miedema connecting for what will be another point for the leading scorer, the 9th assist and 16th point of the year for Battaglia and Miedema on the back end. All he had to do was hit the net. He could certainly do that there. Backdoor pass, taps it home, 1-1 hockey game.
15 shots, and finally the first goal for the Kingston Frontenacs. We've got a 1-1 game, and you knew Erie couldn't maintain just a 1-0 lead forever, and especially when you're not creating consistent offensive pressure. You're just waiting for a sleeping giant to awaken, and you can't be surprised to see it's goal number 8 from Jacob Battaglia. Excuse me, from Ethan Miedema with the goal there. Moving in top of the left wing side, shot. Here's Battaglia. As this one will find its way out for Ty Henry. So now for Erie, it's how do you respond? Finding yourself in a first-time pressure situation, first goal you've allowed against. the blue line it'll go. Erie does get it back. Challenger had it and lost it. Out for the right wing side. Entering in. Battaglia with it. Battaglia cutting in through. Soto had it, lost it. 5.5 left to go here, period number 2.
Kingston goal scored by number 15, Ethan Miedema. Assisted by number 88, Jacob Battaglia. And number 29, Luke McNamara.
Now there you go. 1-1 game as a result, as now this one finds its way to the net front. Ty Henry blows up a man right in front. And the Otters will get this one back coming out of their zone. Oh, that's a slip-up play as Oliver Phillips is allowed some room to work with. Under 5 minutes left to go here in the second period. And the Otters go off for a change. Final 5 could be very telling of where momentum will point going into this third period. Back below, it'll go as Noah Erliden sends it up the wall. Out of the zone, it finds its way. Erie looking for it back inside a defensive or offensive ice for them. Defensive ice for the Frontenacs. Up the circles, out of the zone, this one will go. Erie gets it back. Hammond unintentionally tried to give that one down to Malcolm Spence, wasn't able to do so. Looking after it's Davio here. Ambrosio, strong stick. He's had a nice game, even if the rest of the Otters are not exactly playing to the performance we've come to expect of them this season. Down below the goal line, this one will go. Final 4 and change here as it finds its way out of the zone once again for Kelly. Back into defensive ice, Nathan Sauter. Sauter collecting it. This one found back below the goal line. Spence stopping. Spence moved up Frasca. And having trouble getting out of their zone now is the Erie Otters as the back check comes in big time. McNamara's shot, rebound opportunity, and not able to be put home by Euronin. Top of the right circle it'll go. Ewens, nice job by Mishiak to dig it out. Mishiak, as the Otters will move north with it. Mishiak, top of the left circle, up against the near wall. And below the goal line it'll go. Here's Gabriel Frasca after it. It sends it back to the blue line. Ooh, and nearly a perfect pass off the back wall to Martin Mishiak. Finding its way down, Wesley Royston with it. Royston holds it, fires it right into the body of a Frontenac player. Left wing side, Kerry Terrance, all tangled up back here. 16-9, shots are in favor of the Frontenacs. Below the goal line, Terrance had it and lost it as it's taken back away by Cal Ewens. Up against the near wall. Under 3 minutes left to go here in period number 2 as the Otters look forward inside of their defensive end. Move to the blue line. Wide look here, right in front, opportunity, chaos, and it finds its way back behind. Moving up top of the right circle. Wesley Royston forces it out of the zone. Taken by Euronin, brought back in. Gendel to the blue line. Van Williamson driving down, hit off of the stick of Kerry Terrance. In the blue paint it'll go, and the Otters have a drive forward if they want it. Henry moved in through neutral ice, turned back over, and back in front of the bench it'll go. Edwards inside of defensive ice. Otters are being doubled up in shots, 18-9 as it goes back below the goal line. Finding its way inside of the near corner. 2 minutes remaining here in period number 2. Burns, shot through traffic, loose in front, falling down on it. And the Erie Otters will look for this one to the blue line with $1:49 left to go. Moving its way inside of the circles. Here come the Otters out of the zone with it. Alfano to Davio. Davio working once again as that fourth winger. Davio battling inside of the near corner. $1:33 left to go. Kingston with 19 shots in the game. Now make it 20. Down the ice, this one will go. Should be back for an icing. And we will send it down now to ice level for our hometown hero as we honor former, or outgoing, I should say, Erie Event CFO Chuck Iverson on his retirement night as a hometown hero and as our guest of honor on the evening. We will send it down there now.
And now let's welcome tonight's hometown hero. Justin Pratt served in the United States Marine Corps for 6 years, from 2013 to 2019. He started as a radio operator stationed in Cherry Point, North Carolina. The last 3 years of his time in service was as a Marine security guard, where he protected U.S. embassies around the world. Justin was an integral part in providing protection for U.S. citizens and embassy personnel. Justin and his team provided security for high-ranking personnel such as former President Donald Trump and General James Mattis. As a small token of our gratitude, the VP of Business Operations, Chad Westerberg, and Eric Cass with Disabled American Veterans Chapter 73 presents an Erie Otters jersey to tonight's hometown hero. Fans, let's give another big round of applause to tonight's hometown hero, Justin Pratt.
Apologies for the confusion, but how about that? Friend of the program, Justin Pratt, who was interviewed in one of our favorite features last year, the founder and starter of the Think About What You've Done chant, as welcome a hometown hero as any will get.
I was going to say friend of the show, certainly, and a great guy, and really awesome to see him honored here tonight.
Erie will look for this one back below the goal line. Ty Challenger looking after it. Challenger back of the blue, it'll go. This one finds its way blocked in front, and Erie Otter might have gotten the way back there. 1 minute, 10 seconds left to go here. Up it'll go, Hayes with it. Erie looking after it to the blue line, recollected by Phillips. Final minute of play here in period number 2, and back below the goal line it'll go, as this one finds its way up the wall. With that being said, we still do want to wish Chuck Iverson a very happy retirement, as he's got a big party going on in the East End Suites tonight. This one will find its way back for the Erie Otters. 40 seconds left to go here in period number 2. Puck up in the air, battled for. Erie wanted to bring it in here. Soto after it. Movement in. Top of the right circle. Soto driving down to the head of steam, back below the goal line. Bottom of the left circle toward the net, and instead it got kicked away to the near wall. Back of the blue line, Williamson. Battaglia. Nice block down there by Oliver Phillips. The Erie Otters will bring this one in. Malcolm Spence crushed as this one finds its way in. Back below the goal line it'll go. 10 seconds remaining. Lead feed in a little too far. 4 seconds left, and that should do it. Erie Otters will head into the second intermission, finding themselves in a 1-1 game, and we've got a whole lot to talk about in period number 2's intermission break. Highlights and score updates, of course, around the Ontario Hockey League and here tonight. A sneak peek at next week, because we've got a busy couple of days due up ahead, and we will meet the newest prospect of the Blackhawks, and Ty Henry. We'll talk a little bit more about him, but we've got a whole lot of fun still to talk about here tonight as the Erie Otters find themselves in a tight one. It has been a very good game so far, and it's been a 1-1 score as we find ourselves at this current juncture. However, for the Kingston Frontenacs, you got to be really happy about where you are. We already talked about the momentum they had coming into the second period. Did they capitalize on it to start? Certainly not. Erie, I thought, played a really good, once again, opening minutes of the period. But boy, what a finish for the team in black and gold here. Allowed just 4 shots. They have made Erie 0 for 4 on the power play through the course of the night. And they have themselves a 1-1 game thanks to Ethan Miedema.
Yeah, really good response from Kingston after a pretty strong start to the period for the Erie Otters, but again, not the finish that they were looking for. Of course, Erie has struggled in second periods all season long, again, for whatever reason that may be, but again, you'd like to see them be a little bit stronger in the third. Certainly not their best effort at all tonight. Just not been their night. And but hey, it's championship teams that grind through nights like this and find ways to squeak out wins when things might not be going exactly their way. So love to see them dig deep, say, hey, maybe we don't have our stuff tonight, like a pitcher in baseball, right? When you don't have your best stuff, you still got to go out there and grind and try and get your guy, get your manager through 5-6 innings. For the Otters, it's about grinding through and getting a W here tonight. So it's a 1-1 hockey game. I think if they can find a way to dig deep, they've been very, very good in the third period. It's been by far their highest scoring period all season long. So if they can keep good going in the third, a good chance that they can try and come out with a win.
Erie Otters, Kingston Frontenacs in a 1-1 game right here. It has been a close one. It has been a tight one. And as we go into the intermission break, we will see where the Erie Otters find themselves going into the third period. We'll be right back here on the Otters Broadcast Network.
Across the nation, the Canadian Hockey League is known for investing in moments like this. But did you know we're also investing in this and this? While you're probably used to seeing us here, we're also here and here. Through the CHL Scholarship Program, clubs award nearly $10 million each year, helping thousands of former players continue their education. So while you're seeing this, we're also doing this. The CHL, developing tomorrow's leaders.
Chills and thrills await on October 26th at the Erie Insurance Arena for a Saturday Halloween spooktacular with the Erie Otters. To help your trick-or-treating around the concourse, the first 1,500 fans in the arena will receive their very own Otters pillowcase. Grab your costumes, bring your sweet tooth, and get your tickets now on ottershockey.com. If you dare.
Another night of Chuck-a-Puck fun and another night at the Erie Insurance Arena. Well, for the Erie Otters, they are not having as much fun as they would hope to be having at this point, and the pucks that are being chucked are all on the ice and not to the net. 9 shots through 40 minutes of play. If you eke this one out, if you're the Erie Otters, you're pretty happy about that, but given the current circumstance and the way that this game has gone so far, overall, this has been one of those games where if you're the Otters, you think, what is going on here tonight? Why are we off so much?
Yeah, it's just been one of those nights. Been kind of a strange hockey game. There hasn't really been much flow to it, and I think obviously we've seen that with only 2 pucks entering the back of the net. Goaltenders haven't really been busy, and I think you made a good point earlier on. It's been a game that's been played in the neutral zone, and it's not the most pleasing on the eye when games end up turning out that way. And again, it's a tight game. Has kind of a feel to it though, where next goal could win. In a 1-1 game going into the third, and again, I mentioned it before we went to break, third period has been very, very kind to the Erie Otters this season. So they're going to hope that it stays just as kind to them here, and maybe they dig deep and kind of grind this one out and go into the weekend with a lot of momentum.
The Erie Otters, not even 30 shots offered up in this game, but boy, what a finish to the period for Kingston. Obviously, we talk about the goal, and Ethan Miedema, we knew it was going to happen. We talked about in the first intermission about, hey, this is going to be the guy if there's going to be a guy on Kingston to do it. But racking up shots, really inflating the number at the end there. It was at one point a doubled-up effort. Now it's over a doubled-up effort with a 20-9 shot advantage. So for the Kingston effort side, they're starting to figure out the offense, and they really controlled the offensive flow. They were not letting Erie into the neutral zone, let alone past the neutral zone. The Frontenacs are starting to turn this one on. Erie is a third period team. We've talked about that almost every broadcast so far this season, but second periods have kind of been that low wayward period, maybe 3 second period goals, 4 second period goals this whole season. The third is really when they turned it on. We saw it last week with 5 unanswered goals after a game where it was kind of like a cat and mouse game for the Erie offensive. Are they not? I don't expect a 5-goal outpouring by any means, but for the Erie Otters, if you can get the offense going here, you know Nolan Lalonde, you know where his strengths and weaknesses are. You just haven't been able to make him sweat too much here tonight. An early goal, if I'm not mistaken, off the first officially recorded shot. He's only had to stop 8 through 2 periods since then.
Well, hey, I wouldn't mind a 5-goal outburst from the Otters, certainly. But no, I think you got to give credit to Kingston. I wasn't really sure what to make of them coming in because the big result, obviously, the 9-0 against North Bay. That's the one when you throw on the tape and you look at the schedule and how things have worked out for them. That's the one that obviously jumps off the page. But, they've had a lot of tight games. They've played a lot of tight games. And I see why. The way they play is tight through the neutral zone. There's not a lot of space. I think it's been a big reason why the Otters' power play has struggled so much tonight because there just isn't space to work with. And a lot of time, power play needs that space, and not to mention some of the errors that we have seen on the power play. But for Kingston, I think it's been a pretty good road effort. I think they would have liked to seen more shots on net, but you get that tying goal, and you feel like you're going into the third period with a little bit of momentum on your side and trying to eke out a road win here to get things going on this trip.
19 saves so far for Noah Erlin. He's been by far the best Otter out there. Erie finds themselves in a 1-1 game. Big swing of momentum is certainly due up ahead going into the the third period out of the second intermission. And if there's one Otter that we can certainly look to in this third period who you would expect in a game like this, in this environment, to try and be the hero, it's going to be Gabe Frasca. And for Gabe Frasca, the former Frontenac, first time playing against his old team, he's looked okay so far here tonight, but we know what kind of player he can be, and he's shown it many times already this season.
Yeah, this kid's electric, right? I think I mentioned it on air last weekend. A guy who reminds me of Jack Hughes. I don't know if it's the 86, but it's the way he skates, the way he shoots the puck, and just his hands. He's such a silky smooth player to watch. The type of guy I know I would have hated to play against because you just can't catch him, right? He's so much fun to watch. And, again, playing with that little extra juice tonight against his former team. Hasn't quite been as in the hockey game as I think you would have expected from a guy like Frasca. But, boys, he's been really good in his first few games with the Otters.
Kingston fans, you already know him. Otters fans, get to know and get to meet Gabriel Frasca.
A busy late summer for the Otters meant a host of trades nearing training camp, most of which look toward the future with prospects and draft picks being acquired. However, one acquisition boosted an already strong top six. On August 19th, General Manager Dave Brown would swing a deal with the Kingston Frontenacs to acquire 18-year-old forward Gabriel Frasca.
Coming to Erie was something I wanted to do in the summer, and obviously that wait for the trade. It was a long period of time, but obviously I'm super excited to be here, and I feel like I just gotta bring my game and play my game, and try to be the best version of myself, and I feel like that'll help the team win as much as possible.
Frasca, a former first-round pick with Kingston, came to Erie with plenty of pedigree. After battling injuries over the past few seasons, he's healthier than ever and settling in well here in Erie. A silky smooth skater with great hands, Frasca is a style of player the Otters haven't really had, even with some of the superstars in the lineup. Frasca is thrilled to be here and already fitting in well with his teammates, one of which, line mate Malcolm Spence, he already has plenty of history with. Spence and Frasca grew up playing with each other with the Mississauga Senators and have already formed quite the connection playing on the same line here in Erie. Earlier on this month in Saginaw, Frasca would get on the board with his very first goal in an Otters uniform. Tonight, relatively early in his Otters career, he gets to suit up against the team that drafted him, the Kingston Frontenacs. Gabriel Frasca, a new Otter, making waves in his first go-around with the Navy in goal.
Freak out, but I think that's the new Halloween scratch-off.
Wow, top prices of 100 grand. Can I start freaking out now?
I'm sure it's just a storm.
Well, I did not see that coming.
Scratch-offs this spooky take on a life of their own. Keep on scratching.
Community Shelter Services has been in the Erie community for the past 50 years and has become much more than a homeless shelter.
We can now keep families together in our new tiny homes in the Kiwanis Family Village.
We serve 4 hot meals a day.
We are a helping hand throughout our community.
We lift our clients up, even on a bad day.
If you'd like to drop off donations, you can do so right here at 655 West 16th Street or visit our website to learn more about our mission of creating a pathway to housing, help, and hope.
Worked in right wing side, Pano Femus in from the right, centers it, Alfano, it takes a bad hop off his stick. Top of the left circle it'll go, back down, left wing side, Edwards sends it inside of the corner, set up play, back to the blue line, shot through traffic, they score! 18:27 to go in period number 1, and how about it, Lucas Ambrosio, first career Ontario Hockey League goal. Down below the goal line, it'll go. Down the ice it goes. Maybe time for one last rush for the Erie Otters if they can get something going here. Playing right to the net front. Erlinen sells out and makes the save. Still loose in front and back up against the near wall. 6:10 left to go here. 8-4 shots for Kingston. 1-0 lead for the Otters thanks to Lucas Ambrosio as Erlinen will just scoot this one along. Davio, this one squeaks its way to the net front. Danger as it finds its way bouncing into the glove. And a save is able to be made by Erliden. He didn't break a sweat even if we were up here in the booth. Good news for the Erie Otters. You mentioned it right there. It's the exception to the rule and not the rule itself. This one worked in left wing side, right in front. They score. Who else? Ethan Miedema. He's been a player to watch all night, and he gets the Fronts back into a tied-up game. 1-1 from Ethan Miedema. Well, you know the score here. It's a 1-1 game, and boy, goals are certainly at a premium around the Ontario Hockey League here tonight. Went down to Barrie, a 2-1 score in favor of the Bayshore Bears. Ottawa and Niagara, they have taken a 2-1 lead over the Niagara Ice Dogs. Sarnia North Bay, very defensive one up north at the North Bay Memorial Gardens, and Oshawa Peterborough, just a 1-0 game. Where are the goals here tonight? What's going on a Thursday night?
It's not just our game. Everybody is lacking goals tonight. I guess just a defensive Thursday night here at the office. So, hey, we'll see if one of these games maybe takes a lead and some goals start to find the back of the net. But you don't see many nights in the Ontario Hockey League with 1-1s and 2-1s and 1-0s like you're seeing here tonight.
No, this is not the standard of the league by any means. So I'm expecting one or many of these games to suddenly have an offensive breakout. We'll certainly see if it's here in Erie. I couldn't imagine between the skill on both these teams that a 1-1 game is going to stand for very long. And, of course, it can't stand to have a winner in this one. But, boy, yeah, just one of those nights. And I have to imagine going into a weekend road trip for the Erie Otters, like what we're expecting to do up ahead, things are going to open up a little bit more. But right now, just offense is at a premium.
Well, and the thing you don't mind about a game like this is Noah Erliden hasn't seen a lot of shots. So, obviously, with the off day tomorrow, the travel day keeps him fresh and good to go for a weekend ahead.
And as we look at the rest of the weekend ahead, tomorrow a travel day for the Erie Otters. They will find themselves in the Vehicle City and then take on the Flint Firebirds on a Saturday night and the London Knights on a very rare, very odd Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I was talking to Ken Peroff about this earlier on. I was like, man, I can't remember the last time the Otters played a Sunday day game in London. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, I grew up in North Bay or in Brampton playing a lot of Sunday afternoon games. So he's used to it. Otters will be ready to go. But looking forward to what should be a pretty fun night at the Dordt Financial Center on Saturday. Crowd should be good. Saturday night, Firebirds, not too dissimilar to the Otters team that we've seen or this Kingston team that we've seen in terms of kind of an up and down start. So should be a fun road trip.
And then we look ahead to next week. On Monday, an auto appearance at Wegmans. We'll have more on that as the weeks go on here. And then a very middle Ontario-based, central Ontario-based week starts Thursday in Barrie. The Otters' only trip of the season to the Sadlon Arena and Trevor Cabella's first trip there. And then we go to our familiar stomping grounds, our always favorable stomping grounds of the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, or as it's known colloquially, the Odd, to see the Otters and Rangers do battle for the second time this season already. And then back home on Saturday night for the halfway mark of these two teams going at it. Saturday night, Halloween spooktacular with a pillowcase giveaway and with trick-or-treating around the concourse. Trevor, you've already told me that you're planning on doing pregame trick-or-treating.
Of course. Any way I can get some free candy out of this, gonna take up that offer. So tune in to PTPS, Northwest Pennsylvania AHEC pregame, the pregame show on Saturday, and we're gonna have some fun with that coming up a week from Saturday. But a fun road trip to come, one I've been looking forward to. Anytime I get to go to a new rink, I get fired up. So really looking forward to my first trip up to Barrie and to see a Colts team that they've been doing pretty well with Dallin Wakely acquired from North Bay. So we'll see what the Colts offer, but still a lot of hockey to be played, not only tonight, but also this weekend before we get to next Thursday, 1 week from tonight.
Our first 3-3 of the season comes before November.
Yes, yeah, and again, it's been kind of interesting with the scheduling, how you go from the back-to-back weekend, and then you have a week off, and then you play another back-to-back weekend, and then another week off before a back-to-back home weekend. Now this weekend you play the 3 and 4, so you get a little bit more into it, and then they hit you, boom, here's your first 3-3, a home-and-home with playoff rivals Kitchener. But that second game here, come on out, because it's going to be a rough one. It always is the second half of a home-and-home and a back-to-back. Anytime you see the same familiar opponent on back-to-back games, you see it all the time with Owen Sound. That second game usually can get a little rowdy.
Playoff scheduling for a former playoff foe. It's going to be really good weeks due up ahead here. And, of course, 4 straight on the road for the Erie Otters. We'll have your call for all 4 of those games. And then next Saturday, we'll be right back here in your favorite broadcast booth in the OHL. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, it's just about time for the third period at the EIA.
Where do Otter fans go when they want the best of the best off the ice? Interstate Mitsubishi and Interstate Nissan. Interstate has Erie's hottest starting lineups of cars, trucks, SUVs, and EVs from both Interstate Nissan and Mitsubishi. Selection, savings, and top trade values, it's the Interstate hat trick. Earning your business every day on every deal. Shop online at interstateautooutlet.com.
All roads lead to Interstate.
Proud supporters of
Join the brewery for late night happy hour featuring half-off appetizers every Friday and Saturday night from 8 to 10 p.m.
Real beer, real historic atmosphere. The brewery at Union Station.
Otters fans, it's time to donate blood and be a champion off the ice.
The Community Blood Bank is the sole supplier of blood and blood products to our local hospitals. Support the local blood supply on game day, Saturday, January 25th, as you cheer on the Erie Otters.
Donate blood, support our team, and save lives.
I forgot to ask you before we went to break, favorite candy for you, Trevor? You have a very eclectic palate, I would say, in a loving way. What's the favorite candy of a young Mr. Kubea?
I'm a big Reese's Cup fan.
Great
Huge
choice.
Reese's Cup fan. I always go up to Sam's Club, and they have it's like, you get like 60 of them for, it's like $10. So I keep stocked up, and I'm always sitting on my couch with my iPad eating Reese's Cups. It's not a good habit to have, but love Halloween season because it means all kind of different candies always around the house. So one of my favorite times of year. You got all kind of great sports going on.
Yeah.
You got Otters hockey. Can't wait I always love the Halloween game. It's always a lot of fun, and with Kitchener coming to town, it's going to be a great night.
You know, the missus bought one of those giant packs of the Reese's Ghosts some odd month and a half ago, and I tell you, I don't know where they're going, but they just keep disappearing. I know I'm not the one opening all the wrappers.
It's Mav.
It's got to be. It's the little guy. Back in attendance for tonight's game as well. And hey, we've got a good one due up here. Period number 3 ready to get underway. It is a slug match so far. Who wants to be the hero? We're about to find out. Two teams line up at center ice. Third period action. And we are underway from Erie, Pennsylvania. Third period of play. We're looking for a hero. Entering in left wing side. Soto's got this one. As we come in over the PA speakers, hello fans. And below the goal line, this one will go. Finding its way forward. Moved in, Wesley Royston with it. Moved up near wall, Royston, and that one will come in offside. 19:40 left to go as the Otters will have a draw just outside of the offensive end.
Well, early on here, and again, you look at the shots on goal total. I think that's been a big storyline in this game. 20-9 in favor of Kingston. And for Erie, it just quite simply has to be better than 9 shots on goal. So we'll see if they can find ways to create a little bit more in terms of the offensive zone. And again, the third period, they have 13 goals as opposed to 10 goals in the other 2 periods. So third period team are the Erie Otters.
Inflated a little bit surely by a 5-goal outbreak last Saturday, but hey, that's still 8 goals we're talking about as this one finds its way on net and found back inside of the near corner. Miedema was looking for his second of the night. Up it'll go, Hayes, centered opportunity and missing the net wide, way wide as it goes all the way back inside of the defensive end. Boy, I can only imagine what the locker room was like going into the second intermission, and have to imagine that as we get through the first minute of the third period here, you're going to start to see a little bit of that fire, that urgency from Erie.
Yeah, I think that's a great word, right? Urgency. Let's see a little bit more emotion. It's kind of been flat to this point for the Otters, and I'd like to see, somebody maybe step up with a big hit or something to get the guys going. I imagine that Stan had a pretty heartfelt speech going into this third period, so hopefully that'll light a fire here in this third.
And really, I mean, this is a situation, it might sound insane, but you don't play tomorrow, it's a travel day, you're on the bus, you can empty the tank here. You know you don't have to give it all back tomorrow. You can have a rest day, earn that rest day, make tomorrow's road trip just that much easier for you, and get a win here. Moving its way in, right in front, Arlington robbery! Holy moly, that's a paddle if I've seen one.
What a save, Noah Erliden getting the stick out in front. That is a spectacular stop as he gets a piece of it. He didn't get a ton of it, but just enough to keep it out of the net. And Kingston will be kicking themselves again. That's another open net that they just couldn't quite find. But Noah Erliden, he just stays being an absolute menace in between the pipes for the Otters. He's been great.
That's his 20th save of the night, and his hardest earned one is now the officials are convening right in front of the Otters bench after we had some extracurriculars after the play. Not as much of that tonight as we would have seen, especially despite how penalty heavy it's been.
And again, I think that just goes back to the emotion and the fire that we just really haven't seen tonight. It's been a game that's been pretty low event game, right? But also a game that's been played at kind of a pace that's suitable for not a lot of rough stuff.
Back in below the goal line, this will be dumped back in. Olawan went out of the net to meet it, didn't have to, and this one gets kicked away in front as it found its way to the leg of Malik McGowan. Tyler Challenger with it. Challenger hitting to the boards as this one finds its way up and out of the zone. 3-on-2 developing if they can get the speed going here. Shot in. Erliden will absorb that one, and that's much easier than the last one he had to stop.
Yeah, nice strong save from Noah Erliden, and again, it's Kingston who started the period on the front foot. They've created some more opportunities and making Erliden work. You feel like they've really fed off the momentum that was created from that Ethan Miedema goal. He had a good chance on a deflection a couple of moments ago, and again, able to come up with a save.
Like what I just saw from Erliden, he's obviously carrying a lot of the water for this team. Right after the save, got a stick panel to the leg to his teammates in front of him, almost to say, come on guys, like let's get into this. We know we have this. We're going, we've got it. So it's a good thing to see from your goaltender. He's staying fired up. Got to have that team in front of him doing the same.
Great leadership from a guy who's just played a handful of games in this league. Love seeing that.
He's played high-intensity games at the international level, been pretty good for Team Sweden in the past as this one finds its way in front. Halamego will walk it over to the corner wall. Matthew Soto, as it spins back out from Van Williams. Collected by Battaglia, back to Williams, back to Battaglia, a little too far for him. 17:35 to go in period number 3. 1-1 game, 22-9 shots in favor of the Frontenacs. They have all the shots in this period so far. Here come the Otters, trying to get loose as Kerry Terrance. Henry will skate it up himself, bring this one in, feed it over to Royston. Royston didn't have a lot of room to work with, finds it back behind. Royston falling down, gives it over to Mishiak. Mishiak gets this one as he gets back up off the ice and sends it back below the goal line. Up the near wall. Moved in through neutral ice. Here's Pano Femus in. Femus with an edge and not able to bring that one toward the net front. 50-50 puck up in the air. Grabbed and spun by Sauter nearly to the net front for Pano Femus. Up against the near wall it'll go. Battaglia. Up and out left wing side. It's Gendol. Gendol brings it in. Top of the left circle. Nice check from Nathan Sauter just to interrupt the flow and the progression for Gendol. Turnover here, mid-slot, Miedema shot. Sauter gets in the way, backhand and blocked in front, and the defense recovers after a costly mistake.
What a great block from Nathan Sauter. Miedema, not the guy you want to have that look at the goal, and a great job by Sauter recovering.
Alfano puts it out in front. Up against the near wall, it'll go. Top of the right circle. Henry moves it down. Alfano right in front. Oh, great save by Lalonde as he robs that line. Up against the wide wall in front of the bench of the Otters. Henry nearly takes it off his man, and the fans are starting to feel the urgency here with 4 minutes gone by in the final frame. Back inside of the offensive end. After it goes Brett Hammond, it squeaks out up against the near wall. Moving its way to the net front, Frasca throws it toward his teammate who can't get to it cleanly. That was Hammond as his legs were taken out from him. Back it'll go along the wide wall. Feed to Malik McGowan, he'll push it forward. Moved in for Miedema. Miedema, little tap play toward the net front, nobody there to take it. Frasca's going to recollect it and move as far north as he can. Frasca sends it down below the goal line. Malcolm Spence inside the near corner, top of the right circle, it'll go. Moved away by Miedema. Or McNamara, excuse me, as this one's moved in left wing side. Pickle back for McNamara. Holomego moving north, 3-on-2 if the Otters can get it going. Spence moving in. Holomego goes net front. Back below the goal line it'll go. After it's Frasca, Spence with it. Taken away from him initially. More Kingston bodies getting in the mix. Holomego wins it back again, and out of the zone it'll come here for Ben Pickle. Turnover forced. Shot in. Phillips, and that one held onto by Nolan Lalonde as Messier gives a love tap just to see if he can find a loose one.
What a chance for Oliver Phillips. He's bidding for his first Ontario Hockey League goal. And again, a great chance. And unfortunately doesn't quite work out.
Back inside of the offensive end, the Otters will go. That got him a pair of shots. And finally crosses them over into the double-digit shot plateau.
Finally, right? Finally at 11 shots. He had the good chance from Apano Femus that Nolan Lalonde was able to make the save on. And then a good chance for Oliver Phillips. And you get another look at Lalonde making the stop for the Kingston Frontenacs.
Back below the goal line it'll go. Oliver Phillips, a player that we will certainly keep a close eye on as his Ontario Hockey League career develops. He was originally a commit to Providence College back a few years back when the Otters drafted him. Now finds his way to the Ontario Hockey League, a well-touted player. Moving this one in, Ty Henry. Bottom of the left circle it'll go, back behind. Near corner it'll go. 14-15 left to go. Erie starting to feel a little the offensive pressure as this one finds its way to the net front. Oh, how did Lalonde find that in the glove? He holds it close and near and dear to his chest as that one rolled up into the glove.
That's a good save because Frasca gets a really nice deflection, little piece of it, and it knocks it up into the air, and a good glove save from Nolan Lalonde, who's able to cover and hang on for the draw.
Face off in the offensive end. Kerry Terrance rallying the troops. Gonna look back over at the Otters bench. Their offense is starting to pick up, but it's that exact same thing as we felt the first few periods. Stronger starts. Now they have to sustain it.
Yeah, it's been better over the last couple minutes, but like you mentioned, Sean, have to find a way to make this stick.
Henry shot. That one deflected away. Lalonde starting to get a little more work cut out for him here as this third period reels on. Erie now to 13 shots. They've got 4 shots in this period already. And that shouldn't sound like as much of an accomplishment as it is, but Erie had 9 shots through 2. This one brought in Ty Henry. As this one works its way up from the left wing side, back behind for Miedema, left all alone. Holomego immediately on him. Bouncing puck toward the blue paint. That's a danger area. Back of the blue line for Captain Burns. Erie getting in the way down here. 13.5 left to go, period number 3. Outside the right circle and collected. Wesley Royston, lead feed forward here for Kerry Terrance. Terrance, reinforcements come in. Mishiak, and they'll leave the puck back there as the black and gold move it forward. Gendel brings it in onside. Only one other teammate in his area. As reinforcements will come now. Bottom of the right circle, it's Miedema. Miedema, left wing side from Malik McGowan. Nice stick puck out of play. And as we head to the first media timeout, the Erie Otters find themselves in a 1-1 game with offense starting to find its way toward them.
The OHL and its member teams have state-of-the-art facilities and world-class staff. Year over year, we see OHL coaches moving to the NHL, full-time general managers, strength coaches, skills coaches, and video coaches. Member teams pride themselves on developing skilled hockey players who are taught properly and have the physical and mental abilities to succeed at the next level. Hockey is more demanding physically and mentally than ever before, and our team staff have access to nutritionists and mental performance coaches to make sure our athletes are as prepared as possible to become contributors in the NHL, professional, or youth sports ranks.
T-shirt toss here at the Erie Insurance Arena. I think you saw the same thing I did. The game day staffer looked us dead in the eyes. I just don't think he had the arm strength. He's just got to hit the gym a little bit more. That'll get up here.
Yeah, certainly no Jared Goff with the arm strength there for a little Lions reference for you, Sean. But, hey, that's all right. Just hit the gym. He'll be up there soon.
He tried, and that's more than we've gone from the last few years. So, slowly, day by day.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're so close, right?
There's if you're not familiar with our broadcasts. We're trying so hard. We work for the team so we can get the t-shirt anytime we want, but it means so much more when you can catch it at a sporting event.
Yeah, and I think what would be more impressive is we've got our game day staff in front of us, if they can get it over them and then into our broadcast booth. So, hey, we'll see. We'll see.
I would wholly dive out for a t-shirt. I would break the entire broadcast in front of us for something that I could just go pick up tomorrow.
So you could just walk into an office and just pick one up for yourself. But hey, it's so much more fun.
This one finds its way inside of the near corner. Erie back underway, hoping to see their offensive success, at least their shots growing in this period, continue following the break. McGowan below the goal line. Inside of the near corner it'll go. Back at the top of the blue line and move back down. Below the goal line, taken here by Battaglia. Near corner, taken back to the blue line it'll go. McGowan with it. Right wing side, back below. Sauter after, Battaglia with it. Some good offensive zone time, but not too much more to report from the Kingston Frontenacs on that shift as this one finds its way back to the defensive end. Movement in. Good meet at the line down there from Lucas Ambrosio. He's really been all over the place here tonight. Obviously, he's got the goal, but I think even without that, his defensive play has been noteworthy. Alfano moving over, Femus in front, bouncing puck, and it finds its way back behind. Edwards trying to dig it back out here. Edwards sends it behind. Only man in the area is Pano Femus, but he does not have the best angle against Malik McGowan. Watch out, Hammond walking down Main Street, and Olalan goes to meet him. Malcolm Spence doesn't have the strongest pass on that opportunity. And back out to neutral ice and into the defensive end it'll go. Erie now up to 15 shots. They are slowly feeling the tick of time work its way to its favor. Moving in, right wing side, Ty Henry collecting it toward the net front. Up, they will say, out of play with 11:26 left to go. And while we do have this stoppage of play, we do want to send a hello to our viewing audience on Your TV Kingston and back in Kingston, Ontario, a city that we both have regaled very much in our travels.
One of my favorites. It's gorgeous, right on the water. Of course, our hotel always good right there on the waterfront. Just a gorgeous downtown area. Great rink as well. Yep. A lot of cool parts about the Leon, not the Leon Center. Formerly Leon Center, now Slush Puppy Place. So always enjoy Kingston. I believe it'll just be me when we make the trip there in January, which is unfortunate, but looking forward to what's going to be a tough 3-3 weekend.
It's unique. I've gone there alone. We've gone there together. Now you'll go there alone. So it all comes back around. Back below the goal line, Erie working this one up and out of the zone. It'll go with 11:08 to go in the third period. Moving in left wing side. Miedema, who has just been all over the place tonight, loses that one as he goes down into the corner. Movement in, Spence sends it back below the goal line, on the lawn, in after it. Moving out to neutral ice, Miedema met by Alex Messier's stick, taken away by Tyler Challenger, and back inside of the defensive end it'll go. In for it will go Lucas Ambrosio. Ty Henry, Erie up to 16 shots now. Their highest shooting period by far. They have nearly matched their game total in this period. Movement below the goal line. Oliver Phillips with it. Back it'll go at the blue line. Shot in and held on to by Nolan Lalonde. And as these shots continue to pepper toward Nolan Lalonde, he's been really impressive in this third period. He hasn't had to do all too much, but when he's had to, he's answered the bell.
He's been locked in for Kingston here in the third period. And again, not afraid to pull the trigger is Lucas Ambrosio. Love to see that. Work it back to the point. Allow him to get a puck to the net, and Lalonde comes out to make the save. But the Otters doing a better job in creating more scoring opportunities and getting traffic to the front of the net. You feel like it's not going to be the prettiest of goals that wins this game. So get these big guys to the net, big bodies in front of Lalonde, and see if maybe he'll cough up a rebound for you.
Face off left circle, Erie in the offensive end, shot, and immediately gloved down out of the air. That's vintage Nolan Lalonde. We saw that one a few times here in the Navy and gold.
Yeah, Nolan Lalonde always known for a pretty solid glove, and one thing I always noticed with him is he catch it and he always flips it up on the backhand of his glove to hand to the official. So good strong stop from 79 in black.
But thank goodness goalies don't have any traditions or any weird things they have to do, right? Entering in for the right wing side. We use weird, obviously, affectionately. I've got goalies in the family, and we love them all the same. So it'll go top of the left circle. Malik McGowan. Below the goal line, it'll go. Finding its way wide corner, falling down top of the right circle. Back for Matthew Soto. By the way, programming note, Erie has matched its shot total in the game in this period. Blue paint opportunity, and the Otters are going to dig this one up and out. Here we go, 3-on-2, but the Otters trying to make it more as Wesley Royston loses a juggling match against Malik McGowan. Malik McGowan has been very understated here tonight. He's played a very nice game, maybe underappreciated.
Yeah, he's a really solid defenseman and has been for a number of years with Kingston.
Top of the left circle it'll go. Down inside of the near corner. Finding its way back, mid-slot opportunity, played to the line, shot in. Erliden has to awkwardly hold on to the post, but makes the stop. And the Otters will have a draw in the defensive zone.
Good strong save, Noah Erliden. Again, he jumps on the puck so quickly. Just a terrific netminder, and we get another look here at the replay. And again, Erliden, kind of an awkward angle shot, but he's right there to make it.
Well, it can't always be easy, certainly. Face off left circle. Erie will win this one back below the goal line. Movement forward. Erie has also outshot the Kingston Frontenacs in this period, which is important. They have not done that. And they're closing the gap very narrowly. It's only 6 shots different now. Again, the only one that matters is one. And for either team, that one with under 9 minutes left to go could be a big one. Shot right in front, finds its way back behind. Movement inside of the trapezoid. Forward it'll go. Erie's got it. Kind of a wasted pass trying to feed Edwards down there. Alamago not able to get to it with speed. Pickle's launch. Pickle moving in back below the goal line. Back it'll go, top of the left circle. Erie really getting aggressive down there. It's the Phoenix Alfano pairing, shot in. Erliden once again awkwardly hugs the post and once again makes the save on the 25th shot of the night for the Fronts.
A little bit more space right there for Kingston, trying to create the look and a strong pass to the far side, the one-timer, but Noah Erliden's there all the way. And there's been a little bit more open space in this period. See Ben Pickle working his way through with the pass and a good strong save. Noah Erliden just gets over and puck finds the crest.
No drop on the draw there. As it appears that
I think they're trying to fix the time. A second came off the clock.
No comment on timing.
I was going to say, not to harken back to it, but where was this officiating crew on Friday?
Face off of the right circle. It's been an interesting couple of days in terms of timing. This one finds its way up and out of the zone. Brett Hammond trying to get this one played forward. Hammond loses his feet, gets a shot off though, and he still got it back below the goal line. Up and out of the zone it'll go. 8:12 left to go in this one. Erie brings it in. Frasca, what a feed, Spence shot! And once again, it's Nolan Lalonde able to shut the 5-hole.
We talk about the chemistry that Frasca and Spence possess. There it is on display. A great feed to Malcolm, who's driving in on that far side in a little bit of room. And Frasca hits it right on his tape and then finds a good look at net. So good work. You like to see them continuing to try and build off of plays like that. And we'll see if maybe one will create a little look and find a way to get that second goal.
How about a pull from our digital content manager of Peter Rashinsky by finding that photo of Frasca and Spence playing together at Mississauga. Boy.
Yeah, kudos to Pete on that. He did a great job finding a bunch of different footage from different tournaments and time with Kingston and, of course, his time here with Erie.
Back into neutral ice it'll go. Gabriel Frasca. The players fit in very well, and nice to have a chemistry of a very good buddy playing on the same team as you. Back below the goal line it'll go. Shot, wide open look. Oh, and having to fall down to make the save is Erliden. His defense bails him out, and they're starting to get the shots to help him out as well.
That's a huge save from Erliden. Didn't quite have his bearings about him, but he still kept the puck out of the net. Doesn't have to be pretty. All he got to do is get the job done.
Back into the defensive end it'll go. Worked out Battaglia. As losing an edge down there was Tyler Hopkins. Might have had a better opportunity. Instead it'll be turned up ice the other way by Erie. Moving up and in. Over the top of the net. Trying to play the angles game back here with Femus. Femus nearly taken off his feet. Feeds it to Alfano. Open look, Edwards into the chest, and Lalonde in the right place at the right time to make the save.
All starts with that dump in play. I don't think he was trying to shoot it over the net of Nolan Lalonde, but he saw Pano Femus driving in toward the corner. So what he wanted to do is probably stick it in the corner, get Pano to the puck first, and then allow the pass in front. And then there you go. You win the battle, find Alfano down low, and look at Dylan Edwards jumping into the frame as the trailer gets the shot on goal. And another good save, Nolan Lalonde reading it. Both goalies, it hasn't been really their night all night long, but now in this third period, they've been busy.
Their stars shine bright when they have to, and so far in the third period, the offense picking up, but the goaltenders answering the call where it's needed. Well, the goal line it'll go. Erie and the trapezoid getting in the way. Pano Femus. This one squeaks out back below the goal line. It'll go. 6:40 left to go in this one. We are ever approaching toward the end of regulation here, and Dylan Edwards will take it up the ice. Sam Alfano with it, lost it back, and down it'll go inside of the neutral zone. Moved in right wing side, Alfano. Edwards below the goal line. Moving this one up against the wide wall. Edwards up into the air it goes. Meet him up back. Sauter with it. Sauter down below the goal line. Nolan Lalonde thought he had it. Instead just played it back behind him. In through neutral ice. Here's Miedema moving forward. Miedema up and in right wing or left wing side. Just dumps it back behind. It'll be taken by Ty Henry. Henry over. Sauter with it. Up for Hammond. Hammond moves this one up. Frasca in after it. Due up against Pickle here. This one finds its way into the blue paint and held onto by the netminder as we have reached the under 6 media timeout. And for the Erie Otters, they are progressing. They are taking the shots. They are down by just 5 now. They had 9 shots going into this period. They have 21 now. Again, shots and goals are not the same thing, but it's a good indicator of where you're going for the Erie Otters. When you're adding in 12 shots to a game where you've had 9, it's going to lead to good things. And again, Nolan Lalonde, credit where it's due to him, but the bigger story is Erie is getting these opportunities.
I agree. I think for Erie, they've been much, much better. Kingston got off to a good start in the period.
Yeah.
Erie was a bit flat coming out. But really, ever since a couple minutes in, they were able to turn things around more and have had their best offensive period in terms of the output. So, been impressed with what the Otters have been able to do. And how about right before we go to break there, Nolan Lalonde, great stick to sweep it away from Brett Hammond, who had a good chance, if not for Lalonde getting the lumber in the way. So, good work from number 79, Kingston. He's played a strong game tonight, as has Noah Erliden on the other side.
And you mentioned Brett Hammond there. He's had a lot of confidence in the last few games, really developing into that player that, we talked about. What are Royston, what are Hammond going to be? And media availability this week, Stan Butler, head coach of the Otters, talked about how important it is to have 4 strong lines and how he expected those 2 guys to be the ones to step up. And they have certainly answered the call in the last few weeks.
Yeah, they were certainly a hot topic of conversation. And you mentioned a guy like Hammond, of course. Scoring a game-winning goal certainly doesn't hurt your confidence.
No, you feel like a pretty important guy in the room when you do that. Like, hey, fellas, don't worry, I got this. Back up against the near wall, it'll go. Malik McGowan, 5.5 left to go here in regulation. We've got a 1-1 game. It's going to be anybody's game to close this one out. Soto pushing this one to the net front. Erie defense just trying to sweep it away. Spence, cool hand, sends this one forward. Brett Hammond wants to get loose. Malik McGowan once again sturdy and steady back in the defensive end to take it away.
Beautiful defensive play from McGowan, able to read it and move it up.
So finding its way toward the net front, Martin Mishak digs it out of the trenches and moves it forward. Up it'll go. Here's Ty Henry entering in. Henry wasn't sure if he wanted to pass it forward or drop it back, and he did neither. And it died right where it was.
Got to be more decisive right there for Ty Henry. I would have probably liked to see him try the shot, although the lane would have been pretty tight to sneak it through, but there didn't really have the drop pass on.
4:45 left to go in the third period. Next goal, you certainly feel it, is going to win this game. And for the Erie Otters, they're trying to get it back inside of their defensive end. Kingston back at center. Quentin Burns dumps it around. It doesn't quite have the dump around potential, so it'll just be picked up by goaltender Noah Erliden. Sweep out of the zone. Got to be a little stronger from that one if you're Wesley Royston, as this one's up in the air. And just batted away like a goalkeeper in soccer from Noah Erliden there. Femus, lead feed forward for Martin Mishiak. Mishiak, contested puck back there for Wesley Royston. And Davio will slow it down inside of the defensive end. Move forward a little too far for Femus. Down, it'll go for an icing with 3:59 left. And the Otters will have a draw inside of their defensive end.
Well, you got just under 4 minutes left to go. And again, Erie's been decent, but Kingston starting to grow in a little bit more, a couple of chances. And again, the last thing you want to do late on in a game like this, don't take a penalty. Just try and battle through, try and find that goal, but do it in a disciplined way. Don't let your emotions get the best of you here. So we'll see if anybody does make a mistake or if overtime's the fate.
McGowan sends it below the goal line. Ambrosio battling off 2 Frontenacs back there. Finding its way near corner now. Here's Alfano with it, sends it forward to the low, going no further as this one's taken by McGowan. He is double shifting in this period, and that's just smartly held onto by goaltender Noah Erliden. Wasn't super confident in and off the bounce and decided to play for the next faceoff.
Yeah, McGowan, he's going to be out there a lot down the stretch. A guy who typically does eat up a lot of minutes for head coach Troy Mann and heads off to the bench now, but expecting to see a lot of number 11 here in black and gold.
Wholesale change for both sides here as the Erie Otters will remain deep inside of their defensive end. 27-22 shots favoring the Kingston Frontenacs. As well, the face-off is won back by the Fronts. Sent in and held onto by Erliden. That's shot number 28 for the Fronts. And will give us yet another draw.
Well, Emil Pianiemi letting one fly from the point, and why not? Again, you never know if you could maybe get a rebound in front, something to jam home what could go as the game-winning goal. Again, mentioned this, I think, in the intermission. Next goal feels like it's going to win this game.
At this point, 3.5 to go. It will be the game winner. Up against the near wall. Henry played forward. Here's Pano Femus entering into the offensive end. Femus, top of the left circle, fires it toward anything as Alfano tips it in front, and it's held onto by Lalonde. Alfano is fighting to find one, and Lalonde is shutting the door.
Well, Sam Alfano got off to that really hot start. He had the 3 goals in 2 games to start the year, another one a weekend to go. So Alfano getting into some good positions, and right there in front of the net, you love Dylan Edwards. Look at the little pick out from Edwards. Alfano just continues his dart right through there, right to the high slot, through the slot, and right on the goal mouth, and able to get the shot on. Good strong save from Lalonde.
One back by Erie. They'll send this one deep into the corner. Forward for Hammond. Below the goal line, back for Burns, to the blue line, out to the neutral zone. Here's Sauter with it. 3 minutes left to go here in Erie. Lalonde will stop that one, trap it, and send it up against the wide wall. Will it be on net for no icing? It'll just evade, and the Otters will get a draw on the offensive end. That was a game of inches right there, and it worked to the favor of the Otters.
Yeah, you'll take it with the offensive zone draw, and we've seen plenty of circumstances where Erie have used some design plays off of faceoffs. I think here would be a nice time to try and break one out. You see Frasca kind of planning with Hammond and Spence what they are looking to do here off this draw to try and make life as difficult as possible for Lalonde.
Face off in the left circle. Drop back. This one up against the wall. Finding its way to the line. Will remain in. Frasca making sure of it. 2:46 left to go. Up and forward. Here's Hammond after it. Hammond brings it in onside with the rest of them. Frasca battling back, and it's taken away by the Frontenacs. Miedema entering in as the lone goal for Kingston here tonight. Frasca also to the blue line. Hammond trying to take the puck away. Frasca will assist in that. Puck put up in the air, stays in the field of play, and back into the neutral zone. Malik McGowan. Erliden guides it inside of the corner. Sent back below the goal. Davio. The blue line. Back in neutral ice, or excuse me, in the slot as this one does hit on the bench and go out of play. 2 minutes, 2 seconds left to go here in period number 3. And you start to wonder, when and if one of those timeouts is going to be called here by either coach. You don't want to really upset your game flow, but also, you know, the next shot's the winning shot at this point.
Yeah, late on in the game. We'll see if that's maybe an option. You would think after an icing would be a good time to do it if there is the chance. But, boy, with how overtime went last Friday, might be looking forward to that a little bit myself. We'll see, though. 2 minutes to go.
Shot in off the face-off. Erie got all the legs in the way down there as this one finds its way inside of the wide corner. Collected right wing side. It's Tyler Hopkins. Moved down. Shot. Oh, a nice job by Erliden to close the door before it was too wide open. 1:45 left to go here in the third period. Outlet pass out. Ty Henry with it. Henry leading the charge up the ice. Knocked down by Royston. Nice stick. Royston bodied off the puck and not able to find that one back for Carey Terrance. Royston going in after this one. Malik McGowan shutting the door defensively once again.
He's everywhere for Kingston right now.
Absolutely a menace right now against the Erie Otters. Here's Battaglia moving in. Battaglia up against the wide wall. It'll go. Wide corner. 70 seconds left to go in regulation. Below the goal line. Outlet pass up and out of play. And a nice shot there and a nice idea from Emil Pianiemi.
But an even better block from Sam Alfano, racing up, getting in the lane, making himself big, which isn't too hard to do for number 33, and sends it sailing out of play. So love to see the effort and love to see the shot block from Alfano, not afraid to step up, put the body on the line late in this game with just 65 seconds separating us from a little bit of free hockey tonight.
And now we'll see if there's any urgency here. You don't want to be the team that makes the mistake, but you also want to be the team that's able to get this one done. Again, in a sense, no harm, no foul to allow that other team to get the point here. It's an Eastern Conference, Western Conference game, but boy, you'd really like to get this one done in regulation if you can. Back below the goal line, it'll go. Near wall. Up into the air, here come the Otters leading a charge. Femus in with Alfano, back for Femus, over left wing side, too far for Dylan Edwards. Up and out from the right. Erie, they'll collect it. Femus brought in with Edwards, tried to drop it back, nobody was there. And taking a tumble was Ambrosio, tries to recover. Back in will go Alfano, great back checking for the big rig. Erie brings it in left wing side, 26 seconds left to go. Lalonde directing traffic as it finds its way back below the goal. This one outside of the goal mouth and found from the wide side. Put up into the air. That is a high-risk play, but it works out perfectly for the Frontenacs. That one can easily go up and out. Here's Henry, 10 seconds left to go. Back below the goal line, it'll go. For the second time in 3 games, the Erie Otters will be playing extra hockey for the Erie Insurance Arena. We are going to overtime.
Well, a game that just felt like it wasn't going to be decided in the 60 minutes allotted, and to overtime we go on Friday. Just as exciting as it got when it came to the overtime period with North Bay in town. It was super open. Be interesting to see how this plays out because of how tight and locked in this game has been. So we'll see it with a little bit of open ice if somebody's able to find a chance and find a way to add on a goal.
9 shots, 3 period total of 29. For Erie, 13 shots in the third period.
13-9 shot advantage for Erie in the third. And well, it's anybody's game. The offense has not really been super present, but a total of 22 shots in the third period. Goaltending was the story of the third, but the rest of the game has been more in the defense.
Yeah, much more exciting third period with chances at both ends. And boy, for a couple of reasons, right? If you're Gabe Frasca, how big would it be to score the winner against your former team? Or if you're Nolan Lalonde, how big would it be to shut the door against your former team? So going to be an interesting overtime period. For me, I favor Erie with the size and speed that they possess, but we'll see how it goes. Overtime, always kind of a toss-up. You make one mistake in the neutral zone, all of a sudden it's a 2 or 3 on 0. So you got to be cognizant of the 3 on 3.
Well, here we go. Lock on in. It's time for extra hockey. We're working overtime tonight. We're going to see who gets one more point. Points in 3 straight games for the Otters, no matter the result, and you can't be too displeased about that on home ice. We're underway for the extra frame. First possession belonging to the Kingston Frontenacs. It's Quentin Burns who will lead it forward. Burns drops it back to Battaglia. Spence trying to get back now. Battaglia, nice block in the lane from Kerry Taranton, finishes his man off the rest of the way. Burns will take it all the way back to greener pastures inside of the defensive end. And just to be safe, Nolan Lalonde makes sure to keep that stick near the open ice.
That would have been something, wouldn't it have been?
That would have been the most lackluster and exciting finish to an overtime period. Spence loses his stick, and a holding penalty all the way back from neutral ice. The official right in front of the play did not make the call.
They're going to get a holding the stick call on Quentin Burns, and he can't believe it. It's the VAR official. That's Darcy Burchell, who is the #1 official in the OHL, works a lot of Memorial Cups, and able to make the call there. So, wow. Big moment in the game, and timeout Erie.
Frankly, and as we go to the timeout here, frankly, I'm surprised that's a call that's made, not just because it was made by the VAR official, but it's been mostly swallowed whistles in the latter half of this game. Again, I think it's the right call, but to see it come from the far side official is surprising.
Especially in overtime. You don't usually see that to be the case, and I love the use of the timeout, by the way, for Erie. It's a great use to try and set something up on the power play, try and draw something up that could put an end to this hockey game. So we'll see what they can do on this 4-on-3 power play. You don't get a chance to work on the 4-on-3 very often, so we'll see what the Otters can do with it here.
And a chance for a redemption arc for a power play that has 4 shots on 4 opportunities and 0 on their latest opportunity. 5th power play chance of the night, and it comes with a chance to be heroes. Erie will win this one back. To the blue line it'll go. Alexi Davio with it. Davio worked over right wing side. They score! Put it away. Martin Mishek, overtime hero.
Well, that's why you call your timeout, Sean. It's a design play. It's right off the faceoff. You win the drawback, you move it around, and Martin Misiak wide open, and he's got as good of a one-timer as you're going to find in the OHL. Just a laser to the top corner. No chance for Nolan Lalonde. Not a chance at all that he was going to make that save. Here you go. Nice look at the replay. Davio opens up, and bang. Misiak, top corner. Good night. See you later. Otters win it.
Why waste any time? 7 seconds went by between the puck being dropped and the game being over. And for the Erie Otters, this is a big win to go into 4 straight on the road. After how this game started and how it went through, this feels like a win that's that much bigger for the Otters because you pulled it out.
It is. It's a gritty win. It's a good way to kick off a weekend. Again, you don't have your best stuff tonight. Definitely not their best game. But this is a game where you certainly can be like, you know what? We dug deep and we pulled it out in the end. So really impressive job from the Otters, and love seeing a guy like Martin Misiak hammered home with a winner.
Martin Misiak, a player that had to do a lot more of the defensive side, digging out inside of the defensive end. And here we go. Let's keep it over to Sean Lafferty, our public address announcer, to close this one out.
Assist to number 72, Alexi Davio. And number 98, Pano Femis. Time of the goal, 48 seconds. Misiak from Davio and Femis at 48 seconds. Plyler's Cash for Kids, now up to $250. Stand by for the 3 stars of the game.
And you help the kids, and of course that's why Martin Misiak wanted to get the goal. He wanted to help the Plyler's effort to help the kids in our community. He's just a great guy.
Unbelievable. And one more thing with the celebration, by the way, the first guy Dylan Edwards went to, Noah Erliden.
Yes.
I love to see that, and counting on your goaltender who's been so strong all season long to go show him a little love, because this game wouldn't have needed overtime if not for a couple of big saves that Noah made. Little preview, see him in the tunnel there, so not surprising that he'll likely be honored.
I think Noah Erliden's probably gotten star honors every home game this season.
It feels like it, and a couple road games too. I know he was one in London a couple weeks ago.
Well, of course, as you heard, we will have the 3 stars announcement here. No guessing needed from our side, and then we will send it down to Jared, our in-game host.
And it's now time
So
for
here we
the
go.
3 stars presented by Duncan. Tonight's 3rd star with 28 saves, Erie goaltender number 1, Noah Erliden.
They love the suite, Trev.
He is something special, just terrific.
Tonight's 2nd star with the game-winning goal in overtime, number 90, Martin Misiak.
A pair of import players getting the first 2 stars, but who's going to get the top one?
And tonight's 1st star, with his first career Ontario Hockey League goal, number 73, Lucas Ambrosio.
Well deserved. I think it's the right choice. He played so well defensively, got his first goal. A shining moment for the 1st star.
And again, the point I made with Noah Erliden, just it wouldn't have been 1-1 and needing overtime if not for a strong effort on the back end from Lucas Ambrosio. He's been so good.
All right, let's send it down to our in-game host, Jared, who's live with Lucas Ambrosio, our 1st star. He wasn't even aware of the interview.
Your first star of the game, number 73, Lucas Ambrosio. Lucas, I gotta ask you, first career OHL goal tonight, was it everything you thought it would be?
Yeah, it was nice. Just got my head up, quick shot. Got a little lucky, but it was a good one.
And for the Otters fans that don't know you all that well, your first season with the team, is there anything you want to let the Otters faithful know about you? Hard worker, anything like that?
Yeah, hard worker, ready to compete. Let's go here, big season.
All righty, everyone, give it up for number 73, your first star of the game, Lucas Ambrosio.
You know, you talk about the game against Windsor being a feel-good win. Boy, I don't want to say ever that a win is not deserved, but man, at points in this game, it did not feel like the Otters, A, were going to win this, or B, we're going to be in a position to be able to be winning at any point of this game outside of the opening frame. You know, we talked about it. They have a 1-0 lead. It doesn't feel like they're ahead. They're in a 1-1 game. It feels worse than that. But a good team wins games. A great team is able to find ways to win when you don't have any reason to. And we talked about it. They're a 3rd period team. Took a little bit longer of a 3rd period, but Erliden sharp. Defense came through. Offense answered the call where needed. Erie wins the game.
Big win on home ice, taking care of business against a solid Kingston team, right? They gave you a really good hockey game and come out tonight and battle through and dig deep to pull this one out. Just a really gritty win, and one I think, like you said, you can really feel good about because you really earned it tonight. It wasn't the best game, but they dug deep and found a way.
And kudos to, of course, the power play. We mentioned it. 0 for 4 to start the game. 4 shots garnered. They came through with the only shot of the game that even mattered with the game-winning goal. Martin Misiak with a clap bomb, top shelf, game over. The bus starts for the Frontenacs, and the Otters get ready to start their own bus tomorrow.
Indeed. Just unbelievable. Great redemption story for
Yes.
the power play tonight, and you got to be really impressed with the way that they dug deep. I love the design on the play. I love calling the timeout when they called it. Great call on the timeout. That's kudos to Wes Wolf and Stan Butler down there saying, hey, let's use our timeout. We got it in our back pocket, and then draw something up, and it ends up working out perfectly.
No better moment to use it. You can't take it with you on the road, so you might as well use it. Good things happened. Good things did happen. And the Erie Otters find themselves winners tonight, 2-1 in overtime. Not a very OHL score, but hey, what a finish in this one.
What a win, what a win. We'll see you in Flint.
The Erie Otters will get on the bus tomorrow to Flint, and when we come back, we'll get you ready to go for this weekend that's ahead for the Otters.
This is my legacy.
Tacoma has a dominant legacy as America's favorite small pickup for almost 2 decades. Known for reliability and capability. Now buy a Tacoma with low 4.99 APR or lease an SR for $279 a month.
This is my legacy.
Toyota, let's go places.
When it comes to health education in the Erie region, Northwest Pennsylvania AHEC is the name to know. But what is AHEC? Do they provide education to high school students on health careers?
AHEC does that.
Continued medical education for professionals?
AHEC does that.
Training for community health workers?
AHEC does that.
And even more?
AHEC, yeah, they do that.
Learn more today at nwpaahec.org. Northwest Pennsylvania Area Health Education Center, advancing Pennsylvania's health through education.
A win is 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 a win. And for the Erie Otters, they win in overtime, 2-1. Martin Misiak with a power play, right circle, clap bomb. They don't have to be the prettiest. It helps if they are. The Erie Otters get a win here on home ice. Points in 3 straight games. Back-to-back wins for the Erie Otters. Don't let the Otters get hot. Back-to-back wins for the first time this season. You need that going into a weekend road trip. Get an off day tomorrow, working overtime. Don't feel so bad when that's the case. And for the Otters, they're not the only ones who are looking around the league as the Owen Sound attack. Wow, a 3-3 game. Offense did show up there. They went to overtime. Boy, Oshawa Peterborough goes to overtime. Ottawa, Niagara, they find goals, even goals up north in North Bay. So, hey, offensive night around the Ontario Hockey League. All it took was getting to the third period. So it doesn't matter when it happens. It just matters that it does happen. And tonight, it did happen as the offense finally found its way around the OHL and finally happened for the Erie Otters. They take a 2-1 win in overtime. So, hey, we've got some things to talk about. We've got some things that we're looking forward to ahead. Of course, the Erie Otters will be on the road tomorrow, but they will not be gone too long, just 4 straight games. Our next game that we'll be looking forward to is going to be Trevor Cabea's favorite game of the year, apparently. It's our Halloween Spooktacular. We're going to have some fun with that one as the Erie Otters are looking ahead to what is ahead. We'll take you through a quick recap of this one as we get things finalized here during our post-game show. The Erie Otters, of course, win this one 2-1. Goals for the Otters side, the game winner coming up from Martin Misiak, the overage import draft pick. And for the first goal, Lucas Ambrosio, the rookie, first star, first career Ontario Hockey League goal. Not a surprise to see who the goal scorer was on the Kingston side of things. Ethan Miedema, boy, he got close to getting a few more. Matthew Soto was getting so close. Nolan Lalonde, a great game here tonight. He'll be disappointed he didn't get the win in maybe his final trip ever to the Erie Insurance Arena, but played a great game. Noah Erliden, second star honors, certainly played a great game himself. And for the Erie Otters, you take the thing you want, and that's the win. Comes in overtime. And as we mentioned, points in 3 straight. Back-to-back wins. You get a tough road test due up ahead that we'll talk more about in just a little bit, but man, good win here for the Otters. They had to dig deep. They found the offense. We do talk about what is due up ahead. So the next game for the Erie Otters on home ice, the Halloween Spooktacular. And we'll have our pillowcase giveaway for the first 1,500 fans trick-or-treating around the concourse with 7 great organizations so far. And a whole lot more. So we'll look forward to that one. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I always love the Halloween game. I always love Halloween. Not sure what I'm going to be just yet for Halloween, but hey, we'll make sure it's a memorable costume to say the least. After that, some more home games are due up ahead. Kitchener is the game that we talked about. That is the Halloween Spooktacular, as referenced by the Jack-o'-lantern with candy. And then Saturday, November 2nd, our director's favorite game of the year coming up. It's our country night, presented by 93.9 The Wolf, with a cowboy hat giveaway for the first 1,500 fans. Those things came in today, and whew, they look good. They're going to be very fun. I think the fans are really going to enjoy those ones. As we look to the week ahead, we talk about what is due up ahead, and we're awful excited about all the things that are to come as the Erie Otters will get things going for tomorrow night with a travel trip to Flint, and then they will play in Flint on Saturday, as you see on screen with me. Sunday, they'll take on the London Knights. So good games due up ahead here, and a whole lot of fun due up ahead. Next week, Otto will be at Wegmans on Monday. We'll have more on that and exactly why that's the case coming up in the next few days. The Barrie Colts will host the Erie Otters for the only time this season on Thursday. And then it'll be back-to-back games against the Kitchener Rangers, first at the Odd and then here against the Rangers on the Halloween Spooktacular. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, it'll be time for highlights, and then we'll say goodnight. Worked in right wing side, Pano Femus in from the right, centers it, Alfano, it takes a bad hop off his stick. Top of the left circle it'll go, back down, left wing side, Edwards sends it inside of the corner, set up play, back to the blue line, shot through traffic, they score! 18:27 to go in period number 1. And how about it, Lucas Ambrosio, first career Ontario Hockey League goal. Down below the goal line, it'll go. Down the ice it goes. Maybe time for one last rush for the Erie Otters if they can get something going here. Playing right to the net front. Erlinen sells out and makes the save. Still loose in front and back up against the near wall. 6:10 left to go here. 8-4 shots for Kingston. 1-0 lead for the Otters thanks to Lucas Ambrosio as Erlinen will just scoot this one along. Davio, this one squeaks its way to the net front. Danger as it finds its way bouncing into the glove. And a save is able to be made by Erlinen. He didn't break a sweat even if we were up here in the booth. Good news for the Erie Otters. You mentioned it right there. It's the exception to the rule and not the rule itself. This one worked in left wing side, right in front. They score. Who else? Ethan Miedema. He's been a player to watch all night. And he gets the Fronts back into a tied up game. 1-1 from Ethan Miedema. Well, you can have a rest day, earn that rest day, make tomorrow's road trip just that much easier for you and get a win here. Moving its way in, right in front, Erlenden, robbery! Holy moly! 5th power play chance of the night, and it comes with a chance to be heroes. Erie will win this one back. To the blue line it'll go. Alexi Davio with it. Davio worked over right wing side, they score! Put it away, Martin Mishek, overtime hero! And there you go, Erie Otters win this one 2-1 in overtime. We will travel to Flint. Trevor and I will have the call for you at 6:40 the Door Financial Center on Saturday night. And at 1:40 on Sunday afternoon from not the Budweiser Gardens, the Canada Life Place. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great Friday. We'll talk to you this weekend. Take care.